All right, so this is totally unplanned. Um, much like myself, it's totally unplanned. Oh man. So Ambushed Apostate sent me a message just a moment ago saying, "Hey, you really need to check out this video from Kent. It's something else." Paraphrasing. And this is the most recent video as of right now. It's from yesterday, Sunday. It's their Sunday morning live stream. This is on Psalms 44. Help is what the title of the video is. Yeah, we're gonna go with this one. I don't know. I lay out. Nah, we're gonna go with this one. So yeah, this was yesterday's Sunday morning live stream, mind you. This was his big Sunday morning seminar. Now, I have not watched a single moment of this. And yes, that if you can hear that, that is a cat caterwauling in the background. Oh, there's my boy Ambush Apostate in the chat. It's worse than usual. Oh man, I'm so looking forward to this, but I'm also not. I mean, I actually had a pretty terrific day today on a whole. Um, and I don't know, maybe maybe it's divine balance that I decide, yeah, I'm gonna go on and watch this video. So, you know, hey, yeah, welcome live. For once, it's not fucking early as hell in the morning. I usually go to sleep pretty early because I work early, hence my schedule is really antithetical to a lot of people being able to actually watch my stuff. But whatever. This is enough preamble. Let's get to it. Also, I am actually eating dinner during this. I'm gonna try to not let that get in the way, but you know how things are. We do it live around here, though. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Hovind.
Good morning, folks. Ken Hovind here in the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama, December 8th, a famous day in history for lots of reasons you won't understand or believe.
December 7th was the better day, but well, not better. It was worse, freaking Pearl Harbor, but you know. Um, I just want to point out, and I'm just gonna fucking say it. Sandra creeps me right the fuck out. I look at her, and this is uncanny valley stuff. Like, she just doesn't seem real to me, and it kind of, like, not in the good way either. Not like my ex. No, no, no. She just seems like, what is this thing pretending to be human? It's like, honestly, Kent's kind of the same way. It looks like a damn reptilian wearing a skin suit. Actually, that would explain a lot of things. Huh. New conspiracy unlocked, Hovind. But yeah. Um, I've actually got a bit of anxiety. Like, how is this going to go? What way is this going to go? Let's find out.
Leave till you hear them. Say, wow, that's true. So we're going to be in Psalm chapter 44. The Jews are crying out, Lord, help us. And he says, hey, remember. See? String with a finger, string on a finger. That's to remind you of something. I forgot what that's to remind me of. But that's good. See, there are three signs of a genius. One is a poor memory. I forgot the other two. Okay, Mrs. Hovind, are you ready to?
Wow, Kent. You made the same joke twice, and you think you were funny both times. It's my job to nitpick at the tiniest shit because for whatever reason, y'all just love to see me banter on about it or hear me banter on. One of these days, I may actually set up a camera. The reason I don't, legitimately, is I've completely lost my webcam. I swear to fuck, I bought one. And it's just straight gone. Like one recent since I've had to stay where I'm staying right now. And I got the laptop, but I'm not about to stream from that. That'd be all awkward and shit. Um, so maybe one point I'll actually get a camera, but that'll be down the line. You trust me though, you're not missing out on anything. My bombastic exaggerations and the way I talk with my hands would be cool to see, but you're not missing anything else. But oh, I'm putting off the inevitable.
You sing with us this morning?
Well, we're gonna give it our best. We just practice, so
these fuckers practice. Please, first off, select an actual key in Western notation, and second, actually sing in it. Might I recommend the key of G? B flat? I mean, you could go wild and do B sharp, but It's just a C depending on how other stuff is. Music theory is really weird, and I kind of love it. Like how an octave is 12 notes, but the oct implies 8. It's like, what's up with that? And then you realize, oh, yeah, there's 12 notes. Anyway, I'm putting off the inevitable. And I say that a lot because it takes a while to say putting off the inevitable. And so that gives me an extra second to put off the inevitable. If you value your hearing, mute everything now.
See what
Okay.
happens.
We're on a bunch of different channels on Facebook and Odyssey and TikTok, whatever that is, and Brighton and Rumble and YouTube. And
Just want to say thank you for my birthday cup. So
you like the sparkly stuff, don't you?
yeah.
Yeah. Seth, buddy, we go through the whole fucking thing. That there is no skipping in my streams. We try very hard not to. To be fair, I might actually make this a 2-for-1 because around 6-ish, I'd actually like to get back to Guild Wars. That's the reset. But before 7 is fine for me, especially if this turns out to actually be fun. So, all right, everyone, we're committed.
Oh yeah, okay. The things that I love and hold dear to my heart are just borrowed. They're not mine at all. You set the key here, honey. It's too high for me.
The things that I love and hold dear to my heart are just borrowed. They're not mine at all. Jesus, only let me use them to brighten my life.
Okay, I had to interrupt because do you notice what happened there? And I'm being genuine with this. Sandra is actually staying in some kind of key. I talk shit about her singing, but right now it's not god awful. Kent matched at the beginning and then decided he'd go deeper because he's that much of a fuckwit. Well, I gotta go deeper. I gotta show how manly I am with my nasally ass voice, Hovind. This guy.
So remind me, dear
Join us with the
Lord. Roll back the curtain of memory now and then. Show me where you brought me from.
No, I'm not saying Sandra is good at singing. She's not. But at least it's more constructed, more refined than previous times I have heard her sing. But it's still nails on a chalkboard.
And where I could have been. Remember, I'm human, and humans forget.
So, no piano, because Kent would have to pay somebody to tune that son of a bitch, because we know he can't figure it out. This man doesn't understand jack diddly shit about fuck all. And he's not about to pay for somebody to tune the fucking piano. So he's just like, I'm just going to take out the middleman. The Jeeps, the side-by-sides, I got to have those maintained. But a piano, maybe a little vintage or vintage organ from the 60s, that they use that devil music in, the Doors and stuff, and In the Garden of Eden by Ira and Butterfly. We can't afford that shit. No. Can't even do that. Hovind.
So remind me, dear Lord. Nothing good have I done to deserve God's own Son. I'm not worthy of the scars in his hands. Yet he chose the road to Calvary to die in my stead. Why he loved me, I can't understand. Roll back the curtain of memory now and then. Show me where you brought me from and where I could have been. Remember, I'm human and humans forget. So remind me, dear Lord.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Over 9,000 if they sung the actual version. And I'm going to say, that little melody, the actual tune, It's kind of nice. Lyrics are bullshit, but I kind of like that tune. On the note of religious stuff that I actually like, did y'all know Notre Dame reopened in Paris? Yeah, December 7th. It reopened, and I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. I mean, I straight cried when that fire happens because I love that building. I've never had the chance to go. Fucking love the building, though. Would love to go see it. Value it as a piece of human heritage, not so much as, a Catholic church and all functionality. Um, but yeah, Notre Dame, repaired, back open, rebuilt the way it was. Fucking amazing. They did it in 5 years. So yeah, still fuck the Catholic Church, but that building itself, fucking awesome.
Thank you. Oh, you got lunch to eat, right? All right. Good. You can see why I get a lot of requests, but I sing anyway. Okay. Right, whether they like it or not. They're going to move that camera. Whoa. Quick announcement here. If you're interested in coming to DAL to help us out, call 855-BIG-DINO.
Quick announcement: Ken Hovind sucks. Got him.
Extension 0 and Grantham, our cook, will answer the phone and send you an application. We're not going to let people come here and stay unless we check them out a little bit. So call.
Oh, so now you got to go through a background check to work at DAL? Kent, is it because of too many pedophiles and other shit coming? And you're like concerned about people, now that you said there's not any there, you want to make sure there's not because you realized you done fucked up? Dude. Did Jesus need a background check? Did you check his credentials before deciding to suck him off all day? Oh man, I'm being more crass than usual, but fuck it. That's why you tune in, because I'm just gonna say what the fuck ever. I'm also matching my profanity quota from me and AJ the other day, since I was actually kind of nice. Oh shit. Let's keep going.
855-BIG-DINO, extension 0. Grantham, Grantham. Where'd that name come from, Grantham? I know you're Scottish. Bagpipe, you play? You don't? Okay. So he'll send you an application. We'd love.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught the opening, but Ambushed Apostate, who's here in the chat, he had suggested it to me for the same reason. It's just like, Chris has to see this, so whatever we've got going on is gonna be something special. Oh, and I just gonna say, while I've got a nice 14, 15 people here, I'm glad you're all here. Thank you for tuning in. You're fucking awesome. I'll always say that. Every single one of you. It's 1,000 times better than Kent Hovind. So we've got like 15,000, 16,000 now times the value of Kent Hovind to the universe, which you want to say is nothing, but he has some value as something to laugh at. So, I don't know. The math works out. You guys are better than him. That's the point. Hovind.
Love to have you come. We're always looking for help here. Some people stay for a few days, few weeks, few months. Some stay too long.
Some stay forever because we buried them up on Hill 9. Hovind. Corpses in the desert.
But come on, help us build this place. Be sure to like our channel, share it with others, and comment and subscribe. Someone is going to need this message. So somebody that's going to need this message for today.
All right, guys. Everyone, you heard that. Someone. And yes, I said you heard that. Random. Random shit you notice as you're talking. Someone's going to need this message. So make sure to share my video with someone you love so they can wonder what the fuck is wrong with this guy. And by this guy, I mean me, because it's obvious what's wrong with Ken Hovind. Everything. All right.
So share it with them, okay? Maybe this may be the day they need it the most. This might come just in time. Say, wow, that's what I needed. Remember, United States declared war on Japan today, 1941. My dad joined the Marines and went off and fought for the war.
Oh, God, he's going to go fucking jerk off his dad. AJ told me that his dad apparently was like sick or otherwise in, we'll just use the generic term, the hospital, during the conflict conflict portion where the rest of his platoon was basically wiped out. So that's the reason he was the only survivor. And it's not necessarily to belittle someone's military career, but I would actually love to do a FOIA request on the documents, because I think they should still have the records of all that. I think the military keeps solid records going back, the different branches, guess pretty much as far as they can go on stuff, as just a matter of due course. So it should, theoretically be able to get a hold of that info for, a project. But, I'd have to give a damn, and I don't. Oh, look, he's citing the History Channel that says you know, doesn't that say Jews are aliens, or was that spirit science? No, aliens built the pyramids is what History Channel says, right? We're never going to make through this video at this rate. Let's keep going.
All 4 years in the Pacific Theater, sergeant in the Marines, only survivor of his platoon by the end of the war. What a deal, okay? World War II cost $1 trillion in 1945 dollars. That's $4 trillion in today's money because of deflation, inflation. Money's worth less. By the way.
Yeah, and whose fault is that? Seriously, could you explain it, Kent, if you're such an expert? Because inflation's fucking baffled to me. Like, I get it, but I don't. Also, here's a fun fact. Which disaster cost more to make? Star Wars The Acolyte or the Titanic? Turns out, when adjusted for inflation, it was The Acolyte, and that was the original $180 million or $280 million quote, not whatever the hell it is now, the like 400 million quote or whatever. And yes, I'm not going to let that go, because The Acolyte was just such a bad fucking show, and so many people got pissed at me for saying it in my now, stripped of everything Twitter and the like. So yeah, I just wanted to put some perspective on things as Kent rolls about numbers, because I'm barely paying attention to them. I'm mainly more interested in the chat, because, yeah, y'all are fucking awesome.
You know who wins every single war? The bankers. They win every war. They loan money to both sides.
Conspiracies. I'm Ken Holren, and everything's a fucking conspiracy. The banks. The banks.
They don't care who wins. Just keep burning up ammunition. And
yeah, I'm sure the banks really would care that the nation they're housed in and the nation they operate in, that it's taken over by the enemy. Pretty sure they'd be a little bit, oh shit, at that moment. Imagine the American banks had, so for some reason, Russia actually invaded, or excuse me, the Soviet Union actually invaded. As much as I pay attention, or as much as I am I'd say semi-jokingly, a scholar of the Cold War and the like, I constantly make the mistake of calling the Soviet Union Russia, since they were the biggest constituent part. Russia was not the Soviet Union, like England is not the United Kingdom. But yeah, had they taken over, the Reds come and turned everyone communist, and the bank said, all about, because, it's fucking communism. So the Soviet banking system would have taken over. It's like, they wouldn't have been too happy with that. So theory kind of falls apart.
We'll charge you interest on it when you pay it back. Okay. Today is National Brownie Day. Who'd have thunk it? How many did not know today's National Brownie Day? How many do not care? Okay, right.
I hate to agree with Kent, but yeah, I don't give a flying fuck that it's National Whatever Day. I get so sick when people send me that shit. Hey, it's National Typewriter Day. Hey, it's National Phone Day. It's like, I don't care. That's all made up shit, just as made up as Mother's Day and Father's Day are. Seriously, when people take Mother's Day and Father's Day seriously, there's no hope. That's another special level of stupid. Yes, hi, cat. In case you can't hear the cat caterwauling in the background.
Today is National Pretend to be a Time Traveler Day. If you walk around Walmart with a hat like that on, they're going to call the people that got the long sleeve jacket that ties in.
And yes, I'm very happy that you all are here as well. I cannot stress that enough. And even Deviant Outcast, wow. Sign over the lack of cool live streams to engage with, keep me company as night slowly turns into early morning, and then stroke of luck. Freaking Caduceus live. I'm like, oh, that's great. And yes, one of my many kitties, in this case, a black cat named Kit, who has 2 kittens named Dwayna and Melandru. No, Dwayna and Cormier. Cormier. It's Guild Wars references. Yeah, she's in heat, and so she has been caterwauling and has been doing this for like a month and a half, 2 months on end. Gonna get her fixed eventually. It's just gonna be a while. Cause yeah, tend to never get around to things during December because I'm too busy working.
In the back, put you in a rubber room. Today is National Christmas Jumper Day. Who'd have thought it? No, who'd have thunk it? Okay. Today is National Blue Collar Day. So if you have a blue collar, you get a prize or something. Today is National Lard Day. Who thinks up this stuff? The National Salesperson Day.
I can't believe I'm agreeing with Kent Hovind, and this really has no business whatsoever. Like, why is this in his sermon? We're already 5 minutes in, and all they've done is sing a Christian song poorly. What does this matter, Kent? I'm sure he's going to work it in somewhere, but it's just so obtuse. And again, with no freaking charisma, Kent is just insufferable.
Today is National Take It in the Ear Day.
It's National Take It in the You-Know-Where Day. Come here, Sandra. I apologize for putting that mental image in everyone's head. Oh. I also apologize for laughing so much at my own shitty comedy, but damn it, I've had a good day and I'm going to enjoy this.
You ever heard of that? Take It in the Ear Day replaces December 8th every year. The origins of the day are as mysterious as the meaning. Nobody knows what it means. No one is sure where the day originated or how it's supposed to be celebrated.
David, I'm just going to say it. I feel like me and you just having a chance to chat would actually be pretty damn cool. So we'll have to set that up sometime, given the time difference. I'm guessing from the accent and the time zone that you mentioned, you're in probably Germany. Could be wrong, but yeah. Just saying, yeah. I don't know where I'm going with this. Basically, I want to talk to people. I like people. People are cool. People who like Egypt are cool. People who know stuff are cool. So, you're all cool in one way or another. And no, I don't think Kent gets blue collar at all. A Swedish accent. Okay, yeah. I mean, I can't quite tell the difference that refined. Accents are tricky sometimes. I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. I've turned this more into a hangout than I have an actual whack a Hovind, but hey, we're going to keep going.
There's a lot of doubt about whether the day has an origin at all or simply made up by someone trying to having a bad day. Okay. Anyway, December the 8th, Psalm chapter 44. Now, starting this Saturday, we're starting our 12 days of Christmas.
If you're not in AJ's Discord, you really should be. He has begun coming up with a 12 days of Hovind. I've added in the for the 5th day 5 felonies. So I really should goad him to continue with that, and he and I work together to come up with it. Now, who's going to sing it? I don't know, unless we both sing it. Actually, AJ could rap it, but he'd have to figure out something to make it work, and that'd just be. I don't want to put too much on his plate. He's got other content that's better than my suggestions to put out. But yeah, that's a thing. Because that Discord server is crazy. Oh, like I literally spent the other night. I was feeling like it, so I looked up the tax records on DAL. It is strictly under the Creation Science Evangelism business. So Dinosaur Adventureland isn't its own thing in the same way Genesis Baptist Church is not legally its own thing. It's all just aspects of CSE. And DAL is actually 3 separate parcels of at or slightly over 40 acres each in an L shape, with the other portion of the L that isn't filled in. If you think about a grid and like a four block L kind of affair, you know what I'm talking about. Like, well, you can't see my mouse on the screen, but like, yeah. Point is, God, I'm rambling like Kent. The other property is a normal residence, like a big 40-acre residence, but still 40 acres. I don't know if it's owned by the people who actually own the quarry or what have you, or the gravel pit that, it is, or what the hell it is. But yeah, so DAL is kind of, crazy like that. like I find property records and stuff interesting. Shows you how everything's been arranged and set up. And I was just hunting for the tax information mainly to find out if it is qualified as a homeless shelter, because Kent says it is, but I'm not sure explicitly. Like AJ says he's got record of it being a homeless shelter, but Kent says it's not. So you know. Also, while Kent rambles, I am not allowed in AJ's Discord. I'm going to let this play, and I'm going to look through some of the comments.
If you want to join us, come join us for the 12 days. You don't have family? Come join us. My wife did a great job with the
Oh
Thanksgiving.
my
I'm
God,
gonna enjoy the
Dan!
3 days of Thanksgiving.
Shut up, Hovind. Man, Dan's in the chat. Hey, buddy. I am always glad you're here. Glad I can help make your evening. It's dang, it's getting pretty late over there. Yeah, appreciate you being here, even if it's just for a moment.
All the man, we pigged out on the food. It was awesome. Had a bunch of people come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. There's Grantham right there with his back to us in the black. Okay, call him if you want to come help. Let's see. No, that wasn't Grantham, was it? Yeah, that's you, isn't it? That's well.
Okay, Sweden, cool. Now that I think back to it, yeah, I can tell the subtle differences. Maybe I've heard a lot of, well, no, I wouldn't have heard a lot of North German accents. It would have mostly been just Berlin. Um, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say close enough, but it's like, yeah. Um, like I'm better at like identifying different Korean accents, oddly. Primarily the traditional Seoul accent versus the Pyongyang accent, since generally in the South, most people will have the Seoul accent. And of course, in the North, it's going to be the Pyongyang accent. But little regional accents like Jeju, I can kind of pick up on. But yeah, no, I'm very rusty on that end. You know, so rusty it might actually fail if I was tested. So don't test me on it. I'll fail miserably. Hovind.
Oh, there's a backside. Okay, there we go. That's a better picture than the front. Okay, no, you're fine, Grantham. Come join us for that was Thanksgiving, and we had a blast around here. Do the same thing for Christmas. Let's see, right here. Need a family?
Oh, hey, AJ's hanging out. What's up, buddy? I thought you'd already gotten sick of me after all the freaking partying we did this weekend. And by partying, I mean multiple live streams totally tearing apart uh Kent's pathetic response to your debate. Seriously, part one's on my channel. Part two is on AJ's channel. Definitely check them out. It's like combined together 5 hours of content. And the one on AJ's had a lot of extra people in it. Austin Sims, for example, is in there really throwing out the good points. I was half asleep during it because I had a massive headache. But yeah, some good stuff. And yeah, I should probably tabulate how many times he's actually whacked you just for formality's sake. And of course, there's that video I put out where he tried to call you evil, Dan. I just loved that. I'm like, wow, what a great guy here. Oh man, I almost should have done this pre-recorded because we're gonna be here till like midnight.
Come join us. We want to be your family for Thanksgiving and Christmas every year. Come on down. I'll take that one right there. Let's see. If you need a family, come join us for the 12 days of Christmas.
Big
Come
bad
help us
mama
build
in the
another
house. Hey,
carpenter,
hey.
carpenter. I did not get updated pictures, but we keep going on that thing. It's amazing. 3 levels, one third the length, 1/3 the width, and 1/3 the height of the real ark. Okay, that thing was huge. It's a good mechanic. Come help us. We got lots of mechanic projects. You want to fix up the old Jeep? Please do. How many pine needles we got on the ground down there, guys? Would you guess? I'd say probably several billion. They're all over the place. Okay, come on, help us clean up the place around here. The pine needle.
God damn it, I was muted the whole time. I was saying thank you, Deviant Outcast, for that info. Definitely trust Mark Stoney to provide accurate information, at least as accurate as to how long he was at DAL. But yeah, it's just. I would love to see the documents. That's what I was trying to find, to just have the documents there. But I can show you tax information for a couple of years. I can get that. I put it in the AJ's Discord. So go into AJ's Discord. Do it now and enjoy, and tell everyone Chris sent you, and they'll be like, "That guy sucks." Nah, I'm actually cool there. It's the only place I'm cool. Right, I am having too many ADD moments. Let's focus on this.
On the roof. We got several roofs cleaned up. You think that one needs cleaned off? What's that one? Cabin 5. Lots of cabins you can stay in. That's cabin 10, I think. Yep.
It could be starting with the first half, so it could just be an A. As opposed to an A. Since it's capitalized, it's got to be A. I don't know. Just got to say it like that.
Church roof needs some. So come on down. Help us stay in one of our cabins for a couple of days. Who does, Titus, you do the booking? And what extension are you? Extension 5. So if you want a cabin, they might be full already, but 855 Big Dino, extension 5. If y'all want to stay for a couple of days, and we'll put you up, treat you like royalty. Okay, let's see. If you enjoy the teaching here, support us. Him that's taught in the word, communicate. Let's see. I'm not going to go through all the Noah's Ark pictures. Let me go to slide number 1978. There.
Slide 1978. That was... Actually, did anything good happen in 78? I mean, there was the whole disco sucks movement where overnight everyone just decided disco sucked. I mean, I guess it was probably super overplayed, and that's why everyone was just like, this shit. But it only got better. Maybe everyone just lost all sense of taste. I don't know.
Psalm chapter 44. Dead center in your Bible, if you open your Bible, you should find the book of Psalms, which means songs. Okay, that's the Hebrew songbook. Okay, the songs. They would sing these things. Of course, in Hebrew, they would probably rhyme or something, where you lose that in English. But it's a lament, a type of prayer that expresses sorrow, grief, and longing for deliverance. God, get me out of this mess. How many of you have ever been in a mess you prayed for God to get you out of? You ever been in one of them? Maybe it's a financial mess. Maybe it's a marital mess.
There we go. Show of hands number 1. Got to do my usual speech. Since Kent loves his script, I'll do mine. Kent, none of us on the watching your stream can see the show of hands, so its effective power as a demonstration is completely meaningless to us. You fucking moron. Get with the times. This isn't going to be edited in post. I don't think anyone at DAO knows how to edit a video. I mean, okay, so the intros of those, science seminar or science center videos are edited, but, probably contracted that out to somebody who do it for, thoughts and prayers. Hovind, sells thoughts and prayers.
Mess, maybe it's a physical mess. Lord, get me out of this mess. The psalmist, likely a member of the sons of Korah, a Levitical's family responsible for music, cried out to God in the midst of national defeat. They had apparently been beaten in a war or something. Let's see. A psalm consists of 2 main parts. It's not a very long one here. Verse 1 through 9, he tells them, look, remember how God delivered you in the past?
Yep, keep the hostage engaged. Hey, raise your hands or else, the guy in the back with the AK is gonna start aiming. And these guys don't miss. There where all the money at this place goes. I give them 10 whole bucks a week. That's enough to get them to do anything. They're desperate for crack. Hovind.
Think back, guys. The nation of Israel has a long history of having to be delivered. Usually they wander off in sin. God has to smack them around, get back to serving me, okay? The psalmist recalls God's mighty deeds in Israel's past, including the conquest of Canaan and the establishment of the nation. Remember how you guys got started? Yeah, came from slaves in Egypt to having this beautiful land. This remembrance serves as a foundation for their petition. It's a petition. The psalmist laments Israel's current state of defeat, shame, and oppression. They plead with God to arise and redeem them.
At first I thought this go into conspiracy things about banks and stuff. And now that Kent is rambling on about Israel, I really don't like where this is going. Are you sure you guys wouldn't want to just watch some North Korean TV? It's as boring as Kent, but sometimes there's cool music videos. No, okay.
Remember his covenant. Lord, remember, you made a promise. And he's going to say, oh, yeah, I remember. And remember, you made a promise too. Yeah, you're not doing your part, okay? Deliver them from their enemies. God's sovereignty, God's king of, he's God. Control everything. His covenant, he made a promise and he's going to keep it. The national shame and humiliation is talked about in this psalm. And longing for deliverance. Lord, get me out of this mess. Psalm 44. We have heard with our ears, O God.
I don't want to hear that. And it gets much worse. I was having such a good day. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. I have to call into work tomorrow. Yeah, I can't come in. Well, I watched a YouTube video and it gave me nightmares. You know, that my skin was being peeled off. And I need a while to decompress. I'll see you guys in December of next year.
Our fathers have told us what work thou didst in their days, in times of old. Listen, dads, it's important that you teach your kids about the times God delivered you. Spread those memories on to the kids. Listen, man, I remember Dad told me about that.
Korean is too beautiful of a language to be uttering any semblance of Hovind anything. That is blasphemy upon my love of Korea. We will not have such in this channel. But I'll allow it because I'm not a jerk ass. Unlike God.
Fathers, that's your job, okay? Train up the child in the way he should go. How thou didst drive out the heathen with thy hand and plantest them. How thou didst afflict the people and cast them out. What's this talking about? Well, in the time of Abram, who later became Abraham, God changed his name, the people living in what is now Israel were very wicked. So the people in this land that today is the land of Israel were a whole bunch of different tribes, and they were all wicked. There was the Amorites and the Moabites and the Hittites and the Electric-lites and all them Ite boys in there, okay? Let's see. The Lord said to Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. That was Egypt, okay? And shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Now, there's a controversy, some people say, with a contradiction in the Bible about how long they're there. There is not a contradiction. I covered that. Can you guys go back and search the records? When did I cover that, the timeline? Oh, that would have been 3 months ago, I guess. Never mind. Look on our channel, Genesis Baptist Church. There is no contradiction. It's flawlessly to the day, okay? And also that nation whom they shall serve, which would be the Egyptians, will I judge. And boy, did God judge them. Read about the plagues that fell on Egypt. Moses goes in, hey, Pharaoh, let my people go. He said, no. God said, Moses, tell Pharaoh this is going to happen. Has anybody ever heard that song, One More Night with the Frogs? That is hilarious.
No. And I've heard a lot of weird, obscure music. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, Kent.
After they had the plague of frogs come on Egypt.
Oh, right. It's probably some religious bullshit. What is it, from VeggieTales? I mean, we know that's the most adult thing you watch, except for, you know, what's allegedly in your search history. Barnacle penises. 15-foot penis. Can't say scoot over, honey. Hovind.
The frogs was supposed to be one of the Egyptian gods. Can you imagine worshiping a frog? They had statues of frogs. They worshipped them. Talk about stupid. Why don't you wear the helmet on your head like the guy with the picture we saw earlier? I worship the frog. Anyway.
Whoa. What the fuck were you talking about? What are you trying to say, Kent? Because when I hear someone with a helmet on their head and it's not involving like a dirt bike or something cool, all I could think of is you're making fun of the mentally handicapped who, you know, maybe wearing those helmets to keep themselves from bashing their head into something. And that's pretty fucked up, dude. Like, damn. You know, we learned in 6th grade, like, hey, you don't do this anymore. You don't act like this. It wasn't good in elementary school. Once we hit middle school, they knocked that shit right the fuck out. Bruh. The fuck?
So they had a plague of frogs. They were everywhere. They were in their kitchen, in their bed, frogs everywhere. And so Pharaoh said, get Moses in here right away. Moses comes in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, get rid of these frogs.
Yeah. You know, that is a thing I noticed too. I didn't say anything about it, though, because, my friend's little sister really enjoyed VeggieTales, so I didn't say much about it, but it certainly confused me.
He said, when would you like me to get rid of them? Pharaoh said, tomorrow. What a stupid answer. One more night with the frog. You got to listen to that song. It's hilarious. Anyway, God says, I'm going to judge them. And boy, did he. Plagues of flies, plagues of boils all over their body. A boil is like the world's worst zit, and they were covered, including the bottom of their feet. You can't even stand or lay down. They were covered in boils, and they still didn't get it. God killed the firstborn of
AJ, you know my Discord is deader than fuck, because I don't care. It's a place for people like, one, if I had an active invite link, I might actually have more people, but I need to set up another one. Two, I forget. Oh, right. It's dead as shit. Because, you know, I don't totally care. I just made it for the lulz. So, yeah.
every house. They finally got the message and let them go. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. And he said, in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. What does that mean? God said, Moses, your children are going to go down to Egypt, and they're going to stay there for 400 years. They're going to be afflicted. It started off earlier than they actually went there. It's a long story. And in the fourth generation, they're going to come out. So why did God wait 4 generations? Because,
look, can we all agree, while the ancient Egyptians weren't perfect, they were pretty fucking awesome, and their obsession with cats is equally awesome? I mean, really. Cats, big-ass monolithic structures, you know, area fertile land in the desert. What's not to love? I mean, I guess you could think of some things if you know it really well, but you get where I'm going.
as the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. God is giving the Amorites time to repent. And look, if you're living a wicked lifestyle, God's going to give you time to repent. He's probably going to send somebody to tell you, or have you flip on a YouTube channel and somebody's going to tell you, you're doing it wrong. You better get right with God. And eventually God's going to say, that's enough. How many?
Hey, God, fuck you. Is that enough yet? You're as real as Voldemort. Actually, no, Voldemort was in a movie. I mean, I didn't watch it, and you know, I'm whatever to Harry Potter, but it's the principle of the thing, damn it. It's like I say, the gods in Guild Wars are more real to me than the Christian God, because I've actually seen a couple of those deities in the game. So they're real in the game world. Spoiler alert, Balthazar's dead. It's actually a big Guild Wars 2 spoiler. Point is, I've never seen your God, so fuck him.
Have you parents ever had that moment where
0 out of 10, worst character in all of fiction.
you told your kid to do something over and over and they didn't get it, and finally you said, that's it. Come into the bedroom, bend over, I'm going to get the paddle. Yeah, you get.
Ken, do you want to rephrase that?
Said, that's it. Come into the bedroom, bend over, I'm going to get the paddle.
Oh, remind me to excerpt that. We're going to meme the hell out of that, everybody. Give me a moment to compose myself. All right.
Yeah, you get to that point, don't you? I told you and told you and told you. Now I'm going to tell you in a different language. Everybody seems to speak paddle when they're kids, right? Universal language. My dad was real good with it. Let's see. The iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. Who's these Amorites?
But see, that's the God in the Simpsons universe, which is distinct from the God in, well, that they think exists in our universe, because that God in the Simpsons universe, 1, you can look at, 2, has 4 fingers versus 5 fingers versus everyone else's 4. Although the thumb technically isn't a finger still, you know what I mean. And 3 is actually nice, as opposed to the monster portrayed in the Bible. You know, Buy, Bull. Forget who left the comment calling it that, but I will always be happy that they did that because I never thought about that obvious portmanteau of the name.
Rights. Well, in the book of Nehemiah, this is one of the shortest guys in the Bible, by the way, Nehemiah. It's a joke. Never.
Yeah, we could tell it was a joke, Kent. It wasn't fucking funny. Like, this stuff is worked into his routine. He has to say those things. And I know I've got, my tics that I have in my speech. But Kent is just autopilot. It's disturbing every time you watch him. Just how, it's not even just predictable he is, just how robotic he is. It's like the guy's not human. Well, I guess he isn't in a way.
Remind Anna, okay. They refused to obey. He said, God is ready to pardon. He's gracious and merciful. He's slow to anger, of great kindness, and forsooketh them not. The Lord is merciful and gracious. He's slow to anger. That doesn't mean he won't get angry. He just goes slow. He gives you time.
Deviant, the word you're looking for is tadpole. Tadpole. Yeah, very, very resemblant to sperm. I'm sure Kent really, really enjoys tadpoles. Something tells me he just loves them. They're one of his favorite things in God's creation. Hovind loves the tadpoles. All of them.
See, if you've got a problem in your life, some sin in your life, God's giving you time to repent. And if you don't, he'll make sure it happens. If you're one of his children, see, God doesn't spank the devil's children. You might have some friends or neighbors that are heathen and they get by with all kinds of sin. And you say, what's going on here? They're not God's kids. He doesn't spank the neighbor kids. If you're one of his kids, look out.
Stalker. This is another Hovindite. Oh, seriously. This accusation's so goddamn hilarious. I don't know if this is just a troll or if this is a Hovindite, but to try to call me the stalker when Kent goes out of his way to find information on people so he can talk more shit about them when he does his whack on atheist videos, rather than just spending that time focusing on teaching the Bible like he's supposed to do as a supposed preacher, is absolutely fucking hilarious. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean it's fucking pathetic. And you dumbasses need to find something better to do than sit there and do searches randomly for Kent Hovind to find people talking shit about them and come in and give the weakest ass counterpoints that aren't even counterpoints. I'm being generous by calling it a counterpoint. Just this kind of shit. You're fucking funny. And just like Kent, not in the good way. So put up or shut up. Oh hell, Stacy giving memberships. I'm going to have to make some members only comment now. Aw, damn. Polywog is kind of a transitional point. If I remember, it's as the tadpole is developing into the proper frog as we know it. So it's sort of a adolescent frog. Look at me. I got all these damn memberships. Hell yeah. I got the fancy members. Yeah. God doesn't spank the neighbor kids. No, he just drowns them in a flood. Hovind, drown them. Drown them in a flood. They deserve it. Yes, AJ. Everybody point and laugh. And I mean, quite honestly, I do not care what you say in the chat. I don't care personally. That's your chance to express yourself. So, as long as YouTube doesn't decide to get mad because you said too many naughty words, go at it. Rainbows. Rainbows are pretty. Oh, God, I'm so caught up reading the chat. It's just fucking bumping. I don't have the. I keep forgetting to keep up with the video. Let's keep going, baby.
Yeah. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion and slow to anger, of great mercy. God said in the book.
That's not the Christian God you're talking about. He's an irate asshole who goes way overboard on everything. Fuck that guy.
Book of Joel, or John, I'm sorry. That would be Joel. Rend your heart, not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God. He is gracious and merciful, slow to anger. He is merciful.
Not yet, AJ. I haven't even begun to look into all that crap. I probably should now that the memberships got gifted. And this means I'm probably going to stream a lot more, like you do. And definitely at times like this, because whew, this is some activity. 30 plus people. Much love to all of you. Except that guy earlier. I already forgot his name. Fuck him.
And slow to anger, of great kindness. God is slow to anger and great in power. He took time with the Ammonites and the Amorites, the electric lights, and all them boys in that land. He gave them 400 years to repent. He sent prophets in there. Some of them they killed and stoned. Some of them they kicked back out of the country. Behold, an angel. I will send an angel before.
Hey, love to the gals too. You know, just God, that sounded like some Christian shit right there. I apologize for channeling my inner Christian. Actually, be more entertaining to watch old Christian videos, but I consider mocking those to be abusive, or to be abuse. But Stacy, yeah, much love to you as well. Not as much as AJ. Definitely a different kind of love. You know, it's just how it goes. I thought I had something to follow that up with, but I don't know. God, this half the stream is just me laughing. It's like watching fuck whatever that cynical guy with the mustache is, like watching his videos where half of it's just him laughing at his own jokes.
Before thee to keep thee in the way and bring thee into the place which I prepared. This is the book of Exodus, which means to go out, exit. God, they finally get out of.
Yes, this will force me to do that, and I enjoy situations where I'm forced to be creative in such a way. I guess the Caruso Tomato avatars from a few months ago will become chat emojis, as well as who knows what else. Cause this is just some cool shit. I have members now. Ooh, I should get the members only logo from those jackets in the 80s and make that one of them. So you can post it just like members only. Sorry, I'm almost 40, so even though I don't remember much of it, I have a soft spot for the 80s. As it was the decade I came into the world. And there was no rejoicing.
Egypt, and God says, now you're out of Egypt, go this way, follow this cloud and this pillar of fire, and I'm going to lead you into the land, and I'm going to make sure you guys take over that land. I prepared this place.
There is not enough retail space for an emoji available to do the 15-foot whale penis, all right? Hey, I'll try to figure it out. I will make it one. It's going to be microscopic, but you'll know what it is. Oh, God. Somebody take notes of these things, because I'm not going to remember. Oh, shit.
Place for you. These guys in this land for 400 years, they've been planting vineyards and building houses and, doing all the, getting the ground all ready, and I'm going to give it to you because they don't listen. They're wicked. Beware of him. Beware of this angel and obey his voice. Provoke him not.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And it's just like, oh yeah, you're gonna come here and watch this, go out of your way to find this, but I'm the stalker, the one who's watching Kent's video that he wanted us to watch, because who knows? As far as Kent's concerned, maybe one of us riffing on it will eventually suddenly see what his point is that he thinks he has, and suddenly convert. It's not gonna happen, but Kent thinks it will. And so, in a way, I'm giving him what he wants. And I am exposing his videos. I mean, exposing people to his videos. I mean, exposing him. I mean, not like that. I mean, I'm sharing his videos, but with copious amounts of commentary. Most of which is, well, it's at least PG-13, if not worse. This content not rated by the MPAA.
He will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. See, God might send an angel down and say, look, straighten that boy out. And they don't. Yes, Lord. They're like a Marine sergeant, the corporal, or the colonel.
I don't think Kent's ever made an actual point in his entire life. He's just rambled about shit that eventually forms a vague idea in somebody's head, and eventually we piece it together to try to figure out what his point was, because we're the type of people who cannot rationalize a person actually just meandering that poorly. But Kent does it, so, yeah.
Told him to do something. Yes, sir. Doesn't matter what you think. He's going to do it, right?
Hey, I said my commentary, not necessarily Kent's. I mean, I just laughed at that. That was all Kent right there. Gonna say, come into the bedroom and bend over, honey. I'm gonna paddle you with the 15-foot penis. Our 15-foot penis is more complex than a space shuttle. Hovind?
I'm following orders, sir. He said, bring you in no matter what it takes. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy to thine enemies.
And I do apologize for the video going high and low like it is. That is all on Kent's end. And I know y'all know that by now, but I feel as a video creator, be it a live stream or in pre-recorded form, that I must address this, mostly because I'm an OCD psychopath.
Well, that's a good promise. God said, if you obey this angel and do what he says, I'll become an enemy to your enemies. Man, that's great. Have God on your side. And an adversary to thine adversaries. For mine angel shall go before thee to bring thee unto the Amorites, the Hittites, the...
Do not stop by DAL. Just don't. Instead, if you have time, stop by the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville. That's a much better use of your time. They have a fucking A-12 out front. You know, the predecessor to the SR-71 that actually performed better than the SR-71 on flight characteristics. I've touched it. It was an awesome experience just to feel it. That sounds so weird out of context. So enjoy that sound bite. Oh, fuck. I'm glad I just don't care anymore. No, I appreciate y'all so much for helping me get over what amounts to a performance anxiety for being especially live, let alone doing pre-recorded content and the like. Yeah. It's just good stuff. And again, thank you.
Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. God had waited for.
Yes, it is. I was so pissed about that too every single time. I'm like, I want to go to space camp. I want to go to space camp. I want to go to space camp. They have adult space camp. Me, you, AJ, a few others, we could all team up and do operations on the ISS. Follow a rigid military schedule. I'm down for that. That actually would be fucking kick-ass. I mean, it's not that bad. It's, you know, very fun, but, or so I've heard. But yeah, the adult space camp would be kick-ass.
400 years. And these people were so full of diseases from the filthy practices they had.
Bro, I would fucking love to hug Columbia. And you know, if I ever get down to Kennedy Space Center, I'm gonna hit obviously Atlantis. But I'm also gonna hit the exhibit for the 3 space disasters we've had: Columbia, Challenger, and Apollo 1. Cause the same weird awe that people like Kent feel about their magic imaginary fuckwit, I hold that kind of reverence to events like Apollo 1, Columbia, Challenger, Soyuz 1, Soyuz 11. That level of care, respect, you know, honor for it, interest in what went wrong so that I understand, you know, the totality of it, and, you know, hope that we learn from those mistakes. Yeah. So seeing like Apollo 1's hatch would just be absolutely surreal. You know, seeing that scorched bit of Challenger, the cockpit windows of Columbia, it's just, they're just normal objects, but they're equally unique pieces of absolute tragedy, but also the resilience of our desire to explore, you know. But remember, Kent's the one who loves science, and I'm the one feeling an almost religious experience over, you know, even when I went to Huntsville and saw Apollo 16 command module for the second time in my life, to see a piece of Skylab, you know, any of this stuff, to stand by an RS-25 engine and realize, wow, it's not really that big, but it's still big. Like a person could stand in it, but that's about the scale of it, you know. But, you know, that's nothing compared to Magic Sky Daddy, who's an abusive sumbitch. Fuck you, Kent. And I do recommend anyone with a remote interest in anything spacey, hit the nearest place you can. You know, just give it a go.
had sex with animals and anal sex, and they were full of diseases. God
Then we come to that. What the absolute fuck? I give that heartfelt speech, and then the next thing we hear is Kent talking about anal sex with animals. Which one of us is the actual preacher here? I speak of honoring fallen heroes. He's talking about people raping animals. But I'm the stalker. I'm the evil one. If you saw my last video, the guy leaving the comment about basically calling me the spawn of Satan, which I am. As far as they're concerned, that's fine. I don't give a shit. But Kent's the good guy. This is what a Sunday morning sermon should be about.
God had waited 400 years. And these people were so full of diseases from the filthy practices they had, sex with animals and anal sex, and they were full of diseases. God said, kill them all. Just like a doctor says, man, you got bacteria here, take this antibiotic for 10 days. After 3 days, you feel good.
Oh, so can't trust antibiotics. Interesting. But vaccines are the devil. But antibiotics are cool. Right.
Oh no, keep taking it. You got to kill even the baby ones, because they'll come back with a vengeance if you don't. God in his wisdom said, wipe them out. Mm-hmm. And they didn't, by the way, which is why they're still fighting over there today. Okay. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor...
Yes, AJ, I thought that as you, after I hit played, I'm like, I think that's what AJ was looking for. So you know exactly where it is, just shy of 17 minutes into the video is where it is. Hell yeah.
serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. Here's the story. God called Abram and changed his name to Abraham and gave him some promises. I'm going to give you this land. A couple hundred years later, finally, Moses leads them out into the land. Finally, God had enough. He was sick of the sins of the people in the land, and he sent Israel to clean house. So we got the Amorites, okay? Who's these Amorites? In the fourth generation, they shall come hither, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. Amorites are mentioned in the Bible 73 times. He said, I come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land into a good land that floweth with milk and honey, and to a place of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites. And I will bring you out of the affliction of Egypt into the land of the Canaanites, etc., unto a land flowing with milk and honey. So the Amorites are mentioned 73 times. Then you got the Philistines. How many have ever heard of them?
Yeah, the antibiotic problem is a pretty big one because, in a way, the way antibiotics are oftentimes overprescribed, we're breeding the next generation of super germs that are just resistant to everything we throw at them. We got the fucking Borg. That's the last thing we need, a bacteria that's like the fucking plague, but it's got the Borg kind of adaptability. So every fucking generation suddenly is immune to the next thing you throw at it. Eventually, you just got to burn everything. That's not cool. You can't... I'm not going to say anything, but you know what I'm saying. You can't do that to people. You ain't going to be able to cure people with a disease that nothing affects. Oh, what about a vaccine? That's for viruses, you dumb fucks. I mean, I guess in theory, you can make a vaccine that helps prevent against, bacteria, because the way it works with the immune system. I'm not sure. You know, you look for certain triggers, certain things. It's antivirus is honestly very similar. You look for certain heuristic properties, just on a chemical level. But suffice it to say, you know, we're still causing serious problems. So it sucks. Dang it, AJ, I almost want to have you in, but I really want to nail this one solo. That's just the way I'm feeling. Just solo it and drive with the chat. Oh, kind of hate that because I love doing group things, but this one I want to run solo. I'm just gonna take the whole. God, nothing I say is right after Ken Owens' rant. I'm gonna take the whole thing myself. I'm gonna take it all 15 foots of this bullshit.
the Philistines in the Bible, like Goliath, the Philistine. They're mentioned in the Bible 255.
Also, I want to note right now the time is 6:01. It is 1 minute after midnight, Greenwich Mean Time, and the boss event in Guild Wars 2 to Coddle the Sunless, my favorite regular boss fight in the game, is happening right now. And instead of playing that and having fun, I am doing this for you because y'all are awesome. So just just want you to know I'm taking skipping one of my favorite things to do every evening to do this stream and listen to Kent ramble on about people having sex with animals. There's no time, man.
5 times the Philistines. Abraham sojourned in the Philistines' land. He lived there for a while. He knew these people, okay? There was a famine in the land beside the first famine in the days of Abraham, and Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines. So Abraham went to Philistine to live there for a while. His son Isaac went down there.
No, and I desperately want to go. I've never had the opportunity to leave the country, sadly, or travel much even within the country. Life just hasn't been that generous to me. But yeah, I absolutely want to go to Chernobyl, and by extension Pripyat, and anywhere else in the exclusion zone that would be cool. The Duga receiver. That would equally be fucking awesome to check out in addition to Chernobyl and Pripyat. I want to walk on top of Chernobyl Reactor 3 and know that just, 40 meters away is the hell that was once Reactor 4. I'd sign any waiver necessary to get as close to stuff as I could. Because I'm already fucking 40, so, whatever it takes off of my life, it'd be worth it. I just fucking love Chernobyl. In that weird dark tourism kind of way. I know you get it. So, yeah. I'd rather be watching a Chernobyl documentary right now. Actually, I need to double check if some of my regular channels get back to some of their content. I've been building up a backlog for months. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, back to this moron.
Lived with him for a while. And he told him that his wife was beautiful, so he told the Philistines, hey, that's my sister. He got that stupid idea from his dad. So finally, the king saw him kissing.
Austin, I know Jack Diddley shit about that. I don't even know if this is a joke or not on what those are. It's like, that's one of those things where I'm just like, wow, what the fuck is that? Do a video on it. Whatever the fuck it is. Do a video. I want to see what you have to say on it.
Sporting with his wife. He told the rest of the people, don't mess with that woman. She's his wife. So that's the story back in Genesis chapter 26. The Philistines, let's see. So we got the Hittites mentioned 22 times. They are reported to have lived in 2 different places, and the land of Israel is tiny. It's the size of New Hampshire, okay? The Moabites mentioned in the Bible 19 times. The Amorites, the Canaanites, the Jebusites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Girgashenes. All these different nations lived in this land.
Like I just did, AJ. I mean, much love, bro. You know you're fucking awesome, but yeah, sometimes I'm just like, I did this live for the because I'm like, it's the afternoon. It's totally worth it to go on and have the chat up, because there's definitely going to be people here. And it gives me a reason to keep on going, because I feel like I would have said fuck it to this halfway through. So yeah, it's just that drive to just go at it while I spend half the time just talking to the chat.
And they were wicked, and God said, that's it, I'm done. I'm wiping them out. Giving the whole land to you. And they're still fighting over that land. The Palestinians they teach their kids from the time they're little, that land is really ours. We should have from the river to the sea. That means kill everybody, kill the Jews, is what it means, okay? Deuteronomy. When the Lord...
Does it, Kent, or is that just what you think it means? Because that's the only option you see in your mind for solving any problem whatsoever, because that's the way your magical sky daddy always had his people solve things. I mean, the Israel subject is incredibly complicated, and I'm honestly not super comfortable talking about it. Because honestly, stuff got to me. Being critical of Israel and trying to separate it from the Jewish identity is somewhat problematic, and I know that's the way they would want it to be. Government organizations and the like. Um, because I have such a care for the subject of the Holocaust. But when you look at things from particular perspective, it's like, well, here's how things went down. This seems a little shitty, and it seems like some aspects have only gotten worse, and I'm not a fan of that, as are many other people. And that's the most I'll say on shit, because again, I really don't feel comfortable discussing the subject because there's so much nuance to how I feel about the Jewish identity and the ethnic background, as opposed to activities of the nation of Israel. Got to draw a distinction there, and the problem is it becomes hard to at times. Almost like the distinction you want to erase between American citizens and Christianity and just the theocratic lack of theocracy that this country has. That's what I was meaning to say. Not the theocratic lack of not the theocratic lack of theocracy, but just the lack of theocracy. Feeling all kinds of emotions. Everything's getting mixed. We're only halfway through. Buckle up. This is only going to get worse. Hovind!
Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land. Now keep in mind, Deuteronomy is the 5th book in the Bible. Deutero means twin. So it's the second time God gave the law. The first time he gave the law to Moses on Mount Sinai, Moses brought it down, read it to the people. They said, yeah, no problem. We can keep this. Biggest mistake in history. They should have said, Lord, we're wicked. We can't keep this. Be merciful. Oh, you want the law? Okay. I like what my nephew Chad says to his church up in Ohio. He says, God gives you a choice. Do you want forgiveness or do you want a fair trial? I don't want a fair trial. I'm going to be found guilty of breaking God's laws. Do you want a fair trial? No, I want his forgiveness. But they chose fair trial. Okay. And they got it.
Oh God, the 4K upscalings people have been doing in the AI interpolation for some of those atomic tests, just so incredible, hypnotically beautiful, knowing the amount of energy being released, and that's only a fraction of the raw energy contained within solid matter. Well, any kind of matter, particulate matter as opposed to energy, which matter is just slowed down energy if you think about it a certain way. So fucking cool. So beautiful. I was actually reading up on the little boy bomb the other morning. It was case L11 that was the little boy bomb. L's 1 through 5 were test casings that were used for various mechanism tests, but that was the actual atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima. And after looking at some maps of the stuff, I looked at the photo of the Hiroshima, mushroom cloud, really the sort of question mark cloud, the way that one was. And I realized what I saw down at the bottom was the outline of the Hiroshima coastline with everything fucking burning, and the scale and everything hit me. And I was just like, dear God, hypnotized by it, and thinking that was, a modest weapon compared to, Ivy King, Ivy Mike, Castle Bravo, Tsar Bomba, even what North Korea is capable of delivering now. Man, awesome stuff. Now I want to watch Trinity and Beyond again, because that's a really cool movie, narrated by Will Shatner. Really, really good editing in Trinity and Beyond.
So then they went into the land, the spies did, came back and said, man, it's a beautiful land, but there's giants. And the people voted 10-2 not to go. God said, okay, all of you 20 years old and up are going to die out here in the wilderness wandering around. Your kids are going to go into the land, but none of you get to go except Joshua and Caleb. So 40 years later.
Hey, Stacy, this guy just called you a hoe. Oh, no, wait. That says ha. Never mind. Hovind, I misinterpreted. I'm just going back in the corner now. Hovind.
They give the law again, the second giving of the law in Deuteronomy. That's what the book is about. Who cares? I do.
You know, I had that vibe, Deviant. Honestly, something just gave me that same kind of vibe in just a little bit of interactions. Not even that we had previously, but just the way I had seen you do stuff. So yeah, we've got to chat outside of streams and the like sometime.
When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to cast out many nations, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, 7 nations.
I know you're not, and glad to have you here. My God, me having trouble pronouncing something, what a surprise. I read it as Zalier. I'm sure it's probably different. Some cool shit, though. I love awesome ass names like that.
Greater and mightier than thou. All these nations are more powerful than you.
Yay, I made a new friend. I made a new friend, woo. There. Get a sample of that now. Oh, God. My throat's getting tired from all this just laughing and talking. Oh, I love it. You know, something weird is that in a lot of times just through the day, like I have a persistent cough. And it happens in streams sometimes, but it's not nearly as much as I thought it would be. So I don't know if I'm just more relaxed than if I was filming like some of my gaming videos or something back in the day, or if something's changed. But yeah, um, I'm probably gonna cough here in a moment because I brought it up. But yeah, doesn't happen near as often. So I can go on these little rambles, these little tirades, and everything's good. And I can outtalk Hovind because fuck this guy. Let's get back to it.
You guys have been slaves for 400 years. None of you know how to be soldiers. Now, get in there and fight. Okay. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant. Don't have a peace treaty. Don't have a peace. Don't have a ceasefire. Don't show mercy to them. Thou shalt not, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not give to his son, and his son shalt thou not take unto thy son. His daughter shalt thou not take to thy son. For they will.
You know, it says not to marry them, but it doesn't say anything about raping them. It doesn't say anything about just going to town all you want. Because God doesn't care about that. Violating people, that's nothing. He already wanted you to butcher all of them. So what's the harm in doing that if they're going to be dead anyway? You know, I mean, how fucked up is this shit? And people wonder why we're not religious. So I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat is not religious. We would all consider ourselves atheist, if not at least, I don't know, possibly another theology of some kind. I don't know. I could take a survey, but, it doesn't really matter. The point is, we all agree Ken Hovind is a sick piece of shit, and we're not big fans of the Bible either. At least this shit. You can extract some good things from it, but it requires a lot of customization to the point where you just made your own religion. And that's what no one realizes. And I can appreciate that. But it's when you get bullshit like what Kent spews and him trying to use this to defend a point that you get into big problems. Fuck you, Kent. Fuck your holy book. Fuck whoever wrote it. And fuck everyone related to them.
Turn away thy son from following me. And boy, they did. You read the book of Proverbs about Solomon. Solomon, the smartest guy that ever lived, had 700 wives. That's because God was punishing him, I think. And 300 concubines. Okay. And at the end, it says Solomon turned away from God at the end of his life. His wives turned his heart away from God.
Good. They had the right idea. God is imaginary. Dim boobs are immortal.
Now, ladies, if you're turning your husband away from God, shame on you. You should be one of those that encourages him to live for God. Okay. That's another story. He said, these people in the land.
Hovind translation. Your husband better be giving me money, and you better worship me. You know how I want you to worship me. Yeah, that's right. Enjoy the Hovind. Yeah. I apologize. This shit's so unfiltered. If I ever have the opportunity for us to meet up somewhere big like Dallas, Fort Worth area, Since they got a big airport, and just go to some kick-ass event, like some conference. If I can ever make it to something, I totally will. Like, I wished I'd have gone to the one in Memphis back, like, in, I think, 2014. I was just coming out of any kind of religiousness. Like, I had set myself hardcore, like, yeah, I am an atheist. I realize this. I should have gone. Could have met Seth Andrews and Aaron Ra right from the get-go. But, you know, I'll, I'll go eventually to something. Life will get better. Hopefully.
They have wicked practices, and they're going to turn you away from serving me. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, break down their images, cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. No mercy.
Fire, fire, fire. This Kent Hovind guy sucks. Yeah. There you go. Beavis and Butthead versus Kent Hovind. Dude, if I got a hold of Audio Sprite, cut out the music, I could actually have them react to a Kent Hovind video. I gotta fucking do that. All right, let's continue.
In the book of Joshua, Joshua said to the children of Israel, "Come hither and hear the words of the Lord your God." Joshua said, "Hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you, that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Girgashites, Amorites, Jebusites." So he said, if you'll obey his voice and do.
Will we get rid of the Hovindites? Because they're really annoying when I see a notification and I think I'm going to have someone's, just wonderful, supportive, joy-filled comment or some piece of education, some information that I didn't know, or it's going to be somebody just cracking one of the best jokes ever. No, instead it's some Hovindite calling me a stalker. It's like, fuck you, you wasted my time. I demand 10 cents for the time you wasted in me nuking your stupid ass comment.
Do that I speak, I'll become an enemy to your enemies, the Amorites. Let's see. Then Paul stood up, beckoning with his hand in the New Testament, the book of Acts, and said, "Men and brethren, ye that fear God, give audience."
Book of Acts? Let me ask you a question. Also, y'all ever notice that Hovind is really proud of being quote-unquote Southern, but he's from fucking Peoria, Illinois? It's like, you're not Southern, dude. You don't even sound Southern. Get the fuck over it. You spent your time in Pensacola, the fucking armpit retirement home of Florida's armpit retirement homes. And this is when you were young. Youngish. Yeah, I'm from Memphis. I've got a bit of an urban slang to me with a bit of a country twang thrown in. Hell, actually, I'm like the way I want my Telecaster to be. I want to put better pickups in it so that I can do like straight metal with it, but it'll still have that twang. That'd be pretty awesome. I'm more Southern than you, motherfucker. So shut the fuck up. As a citizen of the South, I want you to go back to the hell from whence you came and stop usurping the South as anything that you belong in. This is a shitty place, but it doesn't need you making it any shittier. Fuck you, Hovind.
The God of this people of Israel chose our fathers. This was 2,000 years earlier. And exalted the people when they dwelt as strangers in the land of Egypt. With an high arm brought he them out of it. And about the time of 40 years suffered he their manners in the wilderness. God put up with them for 40 years till that group all died. And when he destroyed 7 nations in the land of Canaan, he divided their land to them by lot. So Paul is.
So God is pro going in and taking over all the land and destroying 7 whole fucking nations that might have been minding their own fucking business. K, you is that the hill you want to die on, Kent? Just saying. I think some other religions, some other areas, some other people, some other everything would have something to say about that.
Reminding the people in his audience of what God had done, with the days of Moses and Joshua. Joshua led them in. The Canaanites.
Stacy, Alabama, as bumfuck as it is, and for the most part, is still infinitely better than one particular spot right across the Mississippi River called West Memphis, Arkansas. Now, my best friend, Prince Watercress, does gaming let's plays and the like, does really cool stuff. Definitely check him out. I think he's actually linked in my see more awesome section, like of channels that I promote. He lives in West Memphis, Arkansas. It's right across the river. If you stand in the right area, you can see the Memphis skyline from it. West Memphis looks like it is begging for nuclear apocalypse. It is an absolute nightmare of depressive fuck that I have never seen anywhere else in my life. I've only been through northern Alabama. That was nice. I'm sure as you get towards bumfuck Lennox, it becomes banjos in the distance. Still, probably better than West Memphis. Just saying.
Descended from Noah's grandson, Canaan, who was cursed by Noah after Canaan's father, Ham, saw Noah drunk and naked in his tent. You can read about that in Genesis chapter 9.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that the one? Yeah, Noah's grandson who's cursed by Noah after Canaan's father saw him. Oh no, that's not the one where the daughters try to rape their dad or whatever. Because that's good Christian values. I mean, I know it's Old Testament, but still, they kept it in there. When the guys were editing the book in like 300 or 400 AD, they figured out, or whenever the hell the Council of Nicaea was, they decided that was stuff they were going to keep in because that's important to the story.
Curse extended to Canaan's offspring. Brother Meister preached on that about the third and fourth generation. Sometimes it keeps going. The Canaanites did not disappear. They survived and are the ancestors of modern-day Lebanese and Palestinians. Some people, just the whole nation has kind of a national attitude, a person.
Oh, Lord, I'm predicting shit that Ken Hovind says. Oh, fuck. Fuck. I mean, we all predict shit he says. I mean, like, full form. I know where the story's going, and I don't know the Bible. I don't read that shit. I don't want to study it. Like, it is so repugnant and so fucking boring to me that I don't even want to reasonably learn more about it by the act of just fucking reading it, because it's such a terrible read. So for me to be aware of that and to realize that it's coming in the story, that's pretty fucked up. Oh, man. Hey, we're past the halfway point. Golf clap for being past the halfway point. Let's keep going.
That is sometimes really good, sometimes really bad. When you think of Italians, what do you think of? When you think of the Germans, what do you think?
Oh, wow. You hit Greyhound. Stacy, how long ago roughly was that? I ask because we do have a new Greyhound facility, a much bigger one that's out kind of in the middle of nowhere, but not like it's in the city, but it's in a area near the airport that's pretty much empty land. The old one downtown, the old brick one that looked like it was from the freaking 40s. That's where I got back from to Texas. That back to Memphis from Texas back in 08. And yeah, it was a little sketch. But all of Memphis is a really weird experience. Very, very unique. Like other places I've been kind of feel the same. If I didn't know I was in Wisconsin or in Texas or in Alabama, it'd feel kind of samey, give or take. But Memphis just, I mean, maybe because it's home, but it feels distinct.
When you think of the Chinese, what do you think of? There's just kind of a...
Okay, yeah, so that was definitely around that time of... Yeah, it's definitely was a bit sketch. Downtown's a little better now. I actually really like being downtown during the day. There's not too much to do there, though. But, and yeah, Memphis to Dallas. I was at Dallas at 1 to 3 a.m. layover on my way back from Texas. And what sucked is I desperately wanted to go to Dealey Plaza. I wanted to go to where Kennedy got shot. Again, I'm in Dallas, dark tourism. And of course, I realized between 1 and 3 a.m., definitely shouldn't just go for a walk 3 blocks north. The inevitable would have happened. So I just stayed there half awake.
not only individual personality, but kind of a national. Some people just, the whole nation is just, they love wickedness. They love it. They just are wicked. And they, it's strange.
There we go. Kent's calling people evil. The geographic area that is modern-day Israel was controlled by Egypt at the time of the supposed Exodus. Huh. You know, makes sense. I hadn't thought about that. And, oh God, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, mostly Italian with a dash of German and English. Screw off. Yeah, seriously. You know, Kent takes major pride in his all blonde hair, blue-eyed Norwegian descent, and it's like, Kent, what are you trying to say there? Got a little got mit uns on your belt there, buddy?
DNA analysis of ancient Canaanite remains and modern populations in the region reveals a significant genetic continuity between the two. The Amorites, there's the Amorites down there, a Semitic people who emerged from Western Mesopotamia.
A Semitic people. Ladies and gentlemen, Amorites, a Semitic people. You know, the software company. Not Semitic. You fucking loser. Don't even fucking know. You can't fucking just... I'm a Bible scholar. I know a lot about religion and stuff, and I know these things inside and out. So they're semantic people. Sir, that's Semitic. Or whatever, same differential. What the fuck, Kent? And again, this would be fine if it wasn't for the fact that you treat yourself like some kind of fucking immaculate god emperor who does nothing wrong, is never wrong, that you're just the most perfect thing in the universe. Fucking egomaniacal dumbass. Up yours.
Modern day Syria, prior to the 3rd millennium BCE. I hate that BCE. It's BC, before Christ. They're trying to get Christ out. They changed it to BCE, before the Common Era. Forget that. It's before Christ. Okay. They were known as, some hard names here in Samaria. Let's see. Today, the descendants of the ancient Amorites are like.
Yeah, if I ever get a chance to go through Dallas on my own terms, I'm definitely hitting up Dealey Plaza, and I'm also definitely hitting up the former Branch Davidian compound site in Waco. One of the things I want as a piece of morbid souvenir to go great along with my piece of paving stone outside of Jeffrey Dahmer's former apartment site is some of the cartridges that were fired. I would like to end up having, because I'm very certain they had Kalashnikovs, the Branch Davidians did, in conjunction with the typical 5.56 chambered guns that the government force had. Fuck, I forgot the fucking name. Was it the FBI? Whichever particular branch of the crazy ass government organizations it was. God, I'm having a moment here. To have both, you know, spent Kalashnikov rounds and NATO rounds from that encounter, the contrast would be extremely poetic in my collection of weird shit. You know, it goes great with my piece of stone from one of the World Trade Center support buildings that was removed back in '98. Actually, September '98, which is kind of cool because that's when Dance Dance Revolution was just hitting the market, and you know, that's one of my favorite games. So, you know, weird symbolism. But everything about, like, this is a weird thing about me. Everything I kind of look for like symbolism and pattern matching in, but not in such a way as like religious things or belief in something. Just I like the coincidence and I like weird patterns like that. So yeah, more to learn about me.
Likely to be found in modern day populations in the Middle East, including Arabs, Jews, and other ethnic groups who inhabit the region. There's no specific evidence to suggest that a distinct Amorite population exists today. The Philistines.
Thank you, the ATF. That's who it was. I forgot the ATF existed for a moment. And yet somehow I passively deal with them every single day of my life. Huh. Yeah, well, you work at weird places.
Likely originated from the Aegean region. It's today Greece, okay?
Yes, the various cartridges from the Waco incident, the spent shells are still there. As all the debris was moved away and stuff, they didn't clean the area. They just removed the debris. So the various foundations, the buried school bus, etc., are still there. And the remaining Branch Davidians built a small little chapel on a portion of the site, and they still own the big chunk of land, but of course their numbers are, nothing like they were. But yeah, all that stuff is still there, and they are happy to give them to you as mementos. It's the weirdest thing, and I can appreciate that they will, want to give you those kinds of things as a testament, like a tangible piece of evidence of like this happened. Look at all the spent, non-AK cartridges you find. And I'm sure they had, various assault weapons, American and assault weapons, 5.56, 223, etc., that the Branch Davidians had. So you can never tell who fired what. But it's the idea of having something like, if it was a Kalashnikov, 7.62 by 39, knowing that would have only come from the Branch Davidians. Again, that particular symbolism, that contrast, for what was a tragedy, but I actually wrote a piece on it on my website, for the 30th anniversary. Having a piece like that would just be freaking awesome. I'll pull that up real quick and link it in the chat, actually.
Specifically from the Greek-speaking world, and settled in Canaan, 1175 BC. During the late Bronze Age, they assimilated into the local Canaanite society while maintaining their own unique culture, and their genetic makeup reflects this cultural exchange. The Hittites, where'd it go here? Hittites here. The majority of the evidence suggests they originated in eastern regions of the Black Sea and migrated to Anatolia around 2000 BC. The Moabites, there's the Moabites down there, originated from Lot and his daughters. What an amazing story in the book of Genesis. They got Abraham and his nephew Lot. See, God told Abraham, leave your land, leave your family, come to this land. Abraham brought his nephew Lot. Lord Abraham.
Probably. I stopped paying attention to him ages ago. I've learned to tune him out and just pay attention to the chat.
Leave your family. You didn't obey. That one simple mistake cost Israel for thousands of years. Lot came with him, his nephew. And they were both shepherds, and they had too many sheep, not enough grass growing. So they said, look, we got to split up. We got too many sheep.
That should say plenty right there, that you used to be a Bible scholar. You know a lot of the stuff, but Kent's still annoying. That his presentation style is that terrible, and he is that incompetent that he's just not effective at all. Because he's not an effective speaker. If he was, we'd be paying attention. We'd be enthralled with this, but we're not. Even when he actually just sticks to trying to tell the story, he's got to Hovind it up. I could teach the Bible better than this, and I hate that damn book. I don't hate the book. I mean, I do hate it, but I don't. It's a shitty book. I hate it in the same way I hate pickles now, I don't like them anymore. I used to. Now I don't. If you like pickles, hell yeah. More pickles for you. Just ain't in the mood for them.
Which do you want? Do you want the north? Do you want the south, east, west? What do you want? Lot said, I'm going to move towards Sodom. He went over to Sodom.
Well, some of us are clearly still listening to Kent. That means a ton to me. It really does. Just an excuse to hang out with me. Hell yeah. I'm going to read this in the Hovind voice. Kent just reads directly from his slides, always has. The guy has no charisma or ability to read the audience other than those that already agree with him. Hovind. Well, that's not true. I totally read the audience. I read their faces, and the moment they seem bored with me, I take them out back and beat them with the paddle. And then I hit them in the eye with a rubber band. And their kids, they go to the caves. You know what they do in the caves? They mine the spice. That's what keeps me going. That's how I can take my 2-minute showers. I'm high as fuck all the time. Hovind.
With his 2 daughters and his wife. And they started getting this filthy attitude that the Sodomites had. You know what the Sodomites had. And so finally, God told them to leave the city. As they left, he said, don't look back. I'm going to destroy the city. And he did. He rained fire and brimstone on it. We've got one of the sulfur balls, a couple of them in our museum here from Sodom. They're still there, the sulfur balls.
The sulfur balls from Sodom. Oh. some guy chipping rocks, making buku, selling the shit to idiots like Kent. Oh. And yet this is the first time you've ever brought that up. Of course, you'd have to prove what it is, that it is what it is, and not just a generic ball of sulfurous rock. Oh, Kent. I got some beachfront property in Colorado to sell you.
It did rain fire and brimstone. So Lot's wife didn't obey. She turned around, looked back, and became a pillar of salt. That's where that story found in the book of Genesis. His two daughters now are with dad, traveling to, they finally getting away, nowhere to go. So they're in their tent, and one of them said, all the men in the world got killed. We got to.
Oh, God, here we go, everyone. Let's see how Kent handles this one. This is probably his favorite Bible story.
Preserve humanity. Let's sleep with our dad and get pregnant, and we can keep humanity going. That's what they're doing. They must have learned that from the Sodomites back in Israel, back where they were. So each of those two girls got pregnant by their own father.
They must have learned that from the Sodomites back in Israel. Oh.
Father, and their children became the Moabites and the Ammonites. I'm sorry. So that's how that nation got started.
Wait, Ammonites? Aren't those like little things in the water, like those fossils we find? Or no, they're the curly dudes, ain't they? That are in like Donkey Kong Country. These things are fucking cool, man. I keep on clicking the wrong thing. I'll be in Kent's video and I'll click back to the stream, like StreamYard, to press play, and it's like, wait, no, I was in the video already.
Originated with Lot and his two daughters. They settled in the area now known as Moab after the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Over time, they developed a distinct culture and identity, worshiping Chemosh and establishing their kingdom in the highlands east of the Dead Sea. Now, the Moabites.
I'm no expert, but wouldn't that have been pronounced Chemosh? I mean, I'm just saying. Sounds right. It definitely fits the kind of speech patterns that I personally hear from that area of the world, languages. But I don't know. I'm no expert. It's all made up bullshit, you ask me.
Were wicked people. They were commanded by God. God, Joshua, when you go in there, kill them all. But one of the Moabites said, I want to serve God. Now listen, if you come from a wicked nation, you come from a wicked heritage, you got grandparents and great-grandparents all the way back that are evil, wicked, vile, whatever. You can still serve God. One person.
Seems like a bit of an admission there, Hovind. Also, I'm pretty sure you'd classify as wicked under anyone else's eyes, but not your own, and not your magical your interpretation of your magical sky daddy, because he so conveniently, like everybody else who's religious, perfectly agrees with everything you agree with. It's funny how that works.
Can say, I don't care what dad did or mom did or grandma did. I'm going to serve God. There was a girl in that land who did that. Her name was Ruth. They lifted up their voice and wept, and Oprah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave to her. And she said, behold, thy sister is gone back to her people, to her gods. Return after your sister. Ruth said, don't make me leave. I don't want to return. Whither thou goest, I will go. Whither thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God, my God.
Well, to be fair, who the hell doesn't God command the killing of? I mean, really. If they're not that, then eternal punishment. It's like, you can't win with this fucker. So why even try?
Thou diest, will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. So Ruth, a Moabite, decided, I want to serve God.
Well, Kent's been working on his script since before Matty P was even fucking born. So, Matt has not had the time to build up the stoic lack of charisma that Kent has. And that's not to say that Matt has any charisma, but whereas Kent immediately went into the negative, Matt Powell is just setting at 0 and doing weird shit and just rambling on about dinosaur farts. Because that's what he's decided to latch onto, I guess. But remember, we're the immature ones.
God. Does anybody know how she fits into the Bible story? Ruth later, let's see, Salmon begat Boaz of Rachab, and Boaz begat.
No, not the begets. I thought that ended at the fucking beginning in Genesis. Don't tell me this goddamn shit is in fucking Matt. Oh, I guess this eventually gets towards the Jebus dude. So that makes sense. In Matthew, yeah, because Matthew's the first book. That at least I know. It goes Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. If those were their real names. So yeah, this actually makes complete sense. Never mind. I had to take a second to remember. Oh yeah, there's a bonus genealogy in there. Harvard, bonus genealogy.
Obed of Ruth. A guy named Boaz married Ruth, and Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David the king. She became the grandma of King David. Hey, you want to serve God? Quit complaining what mom and dad did. Get shut up, serve, do something for God with your life. The Jebusites were a Canaanite tribe that inhabited Jerusalem.
Geez, how many tribes were in this area? I mean, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, we got to account for the ones that were genocided, so 500.
Which was originally known as Jebus, Jerusalem, Jebus, and the Jebusites. They were descended from Jebus, a son of Canaan, Ham's son. God put a curse on Ham, and his sons apparently all had this same curse. Jebusites were considered a warlike people. They're mentioned in the Bible as a nation living in the mountains in Joshua 3 and Joshua 11, etc.
No, you need the keyboard. Because, that's how you can type the wonderful messages that all of you are typing in the chat. Have I not told you in the last 30 minutes? Have I told you lately that I love you? That seriously, y'all are fucking awesome, because you are. Seriously. Much love.
The Hivites, a Canaanite people descended from Canaan, the son of Ham, and inhabited various cities and regions in Canaan. Okay? The
Ham.
Perizzites, right there. An indigenous tribe that inhabited the land of Canaan.
Why don't you debate me, you keyboard warrior? Hovind. Debate me, bro. Hovind.
They are descendants from Ham. Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, Japheth. Joshua. It came to pass when the children of Israel were strong, they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly drive them out. So instead of killing them or driving them out, they said, okay, we'll keep you, we'll give you a job. You're now slave labor.
Kent, is that whatever this tribe is, Canaanites you're talking about? Or is this everyone who comes to Dinosaur Adventureland? Come on, dude.
Came to pass when Israel was strong, they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly drive them out. The Asherites.
I like the way this Twitch person thinks. Ken Owen is a criminal douche. Very apt. Very succinct. Love it.
Dwelt among the Canaanites. They did not drive them out. Joshua and Judges tells the story of the failure to do what God told him. By the way, here's the land of Israel today. See the Gaza Strip there on the left? That's where the Philistines were. Same place. Anyway, back to Psalm 44. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand and thine arm and the light of thy countenance. See, the psalmist is telling people, we better remember what God did. We got this land, and God did it for us. And sometimes it's good for you.
So they got free land. Who else got free land? This ass clown right on screen.
You to just remember what God has done for you. Just shut off the phone, shut off the TV, and just go remember. God, you've been good to me. You ought to drive around this property. I remember when it was just a gravel pit. Nothing here.
It's still just a gravel pit.
Nothing. Well, a lot of mud.
Look at his arrogant ass. I remember it was just a gravel pit. God gave me all this. Like, no, how about all the people who fucking worked for you that you've somehow abused to the point where they left? So I'm pretty sure not a damn person there is anyone you started with, or anyone's even been there much longer than 4 or 5 years. You pushed multiple wives away. Your own tech guy decided to, steal from you. Shout out to Steve Lind. He's a total piece of shit person, but he fucking stole from DAL. Stole money. It's pretty Chad move right there. Still, fuck that guy. But he did some cool shit by stealing from Kent. All those people did the work. You didn't do shit but boss them around. You might have got involved here and there. I've heard you legitimately will do something that resembles work. But in the end, it's mostly just a show. And it's not like you're not bitching the entire time.
Gravel, not much gravel. He said, "Thou art my king, O God. Command deliverances for Jacob. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under the rise against us, them that rise up against us." It's good to remember. Deuteronomy chapter 7. "For the Lord thy God will send the hornet among them until they that are left and hide themselves from thee be destroyed." Can you imagine? God says, "I want you to go take over that land, but as you're going in there, I'm going to send a bunch of hornets in there." Joshua 24. "I sent the hornet." How'd you like to have the hornets fight for you?
And he laughs about people having hornets sent in on them. I mean, we could send FA-18 Super Hornets in for random purposes. I'm not saying what. I'm just saying it is the Navy's predominant fighter, carrier capable. We could be sending those out. We'd be sending out Hornets. Pretty cool. I still hate the F-14 was retired, and I understand why, but so the F-14, yes, we're going off on a tangent. The F-14, Grumman F-14 Tomcat, 1970 range, retired 2006. Famous, of course, because of Top Gun. Beautiful swing wing, dual engine, wonderful craft. Navy, dedicated, generally Navy dedicated fighter. Iran, ironically, is the only country still operating them because they inherited some that they had received before, of course, the Iranian Revolution. Because of Iran having F-14s that they need to keep alive, which is about 20 or 30 at this stage, maybe still towards 40. When the F-14 was retired, save from few very specific museum pieces, Gate Guardians and the like, they all were immediately scrapped and destroyed. They're not sitting in the boneyards. They were annihilated, shredded, so that parts could not somehow be harvested to support Iran's pathetic air force. And that's an absolute tragedy for such an amazing aircraft. Like every F-14 you see in any footage, guarantee, has been completely destroyed. Any of old flying footage, it sucks so hard. So I really like that aircraft, and only learned to appreciate it more after its retirement. So just sucks. But yeah, the F-18 or the F-18 and the F-18 Super Hornets are pretty cool too. But give me the F-14. I'm a big F-14 and F-16 kind of guy.
A lot easier, isn't it? Let them do the job. The 2 kings of the Amorites, but not with thy sword or with thy bow. I will not trust my bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us. In God we boast all the day long.
Oh, maybe it was Randall. I don't know, because I barely even recognize the name Randall. I just thought it was Steve Lynn from the way things were done. So maybe not. There's so much to keep up with Ken Hovind. I just can't do it. Like, I'll do these videos and I'll laugh, but to be honest, I am not that interested in actively deep diving into those kinds of facets of Kent's history. I do want to find like current information, tax related information, etc. Just little tidbits that can give us some real definitive perspective on CSE and DAL. But the drama that is his life, I only have cursory knowledge of. Like, I know Christian's story, I always have a chance to bring him up. Christian's story way better than I do Kent's. One, because it's honestly less pathetic. I can't believe that's possible, but it is. But yeah, so yeah, I am fully open to corrections about this stuff. Like, I really am, and that's why I wish we could commit to getting a wiki set up to document everything Kent Hovind. But there's been, that's a lot of effort to put in, but it would be nice if we could make it happen. Maybe one day we will.
long and praise thy name forever. Selah. Selah, I've been told, means stop and think. While the Jews were going to Jerusalem, every year they had to go up there, no matter where you live. You got to go up, take your family, march up to Jerusalem, take a couple days to get there. They would sing the Psalms as they went along. So their kids would memorize huge passages of Scripture just by singing them. But thou hast cast off and put us to shame, and go us not forth with our armies. So they're remembering, Lord, you helped us get this land, and now we're losing battles. What are we doing? Look, if something's going wrong in your life, it might be time for you to get alone and just do some introspection. Quit blaming everybody around you. And so, Lord, is it me? Remember that old song, the Negro Spiritual? It's me, oh Lord.
Oh, Lord, he said it again. Kent, you can't say that. No, that's not the word. But there are better ways to refer to those songs from that absolutely tragic part of American history than using that archaic as fuck terminology. You fucking dinosaur.
Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Not my brother, not my sister, but it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Thou makest us to turn back from the enemy, for they which hate us.
If that video still exists and wasn't on the old channel, I'm not saying you should link it to me either in AJ's Discord if you're there, or otherwise send me an email. Emails in my channel about info. But you should definitely do that because I would like to cover that.
Us spoil themselves. Thou hast given us sheep like sheep appointed for meat, and scattered us among the heathen. That's awful.
Well, I mean, in a way, I'm stuck in the 50s as well, but I don't go using terminology like that. I just, appreciate early 50s, aircraft, early attempts at getting into space. What else? Like rotary phones and shit like that. I mean, fucking phone switching systems are fucking amazing. Electromechanical stuff. Yeah. But that's a whole other story. Like, there's so many videos I'd want to do, but I'm not fully comfortable and confident in myself in doing them. But this kind of stuff for sheer fun, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Bible talks about being scattered. The people in Genesis said, oh, wow, we don't want to be scattered around. So God told them to scatter out and cover the world after the flood. We're not going to do it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. It'll go to my email is chris@zadara.com. I mean, it's easy to put those two together. xadara.com. The website I linked to earlier. Yeah, that's, one of my emails. That one's, under my control, though. So it's all good.
So the Lord scattered them, like with the Tower of Babel, where we get the phrase babbling idiot. I've met some of those, by the way. And
yeah, Kent, every time you look in the mirror, you see one. I'm more coherent than you, and I'm just a rambling fuckwit.
God confused the languages. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and has scattered us. He scattered us.
Oh, I know. I just had to kind of be funny with it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot about mid-century America that I love, but I'm not gonna excuse the rampant racism, sexism, and a lot of the other bullshit that was done. Not gonna ignore it, and I'm not going to just, magically make it out like it was fine.
That have been displeased. The Bible talks about scattered 71 times. You can read that for yourself.
Yep, and the Bible says kill over 200 times. So what does that tell you, Kent?
Thou sellest thy people for naught, and dost not increase thy wealth for their price. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us. Here's the psalmist saying, Lord, our neighbors are laughing at us. We're derision. We're a source of their laughter and a reproach. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. The neighbors are saying, oh, them stupid people in that land, they're a bunch of morons or something.
Anyone think Kent is trying to say something about DAL there? Because, everything Kent does, every single sermon he does, he has to make personal, explicitly, somewhere in it.
byword found in the Bible 6 times. You ought to study that one.
Yeah, you ought to study that one. You ought to look up all these random words and study it. Yeah, study it. Yeah, read it. Huh? How about you teach somebody something? If you're so good at this shit, how about you actually explain what value that has, what that matters? Or do you just want to impress people with the fact that you can use Control F and search for a word in some stupid Bible program and find it, so many copies of it? Because again, I can do that too, but my point isn't that I found it. My point is that it's in there so many times.
My confusion is continually before me, and the shame of my face hath covered me.
Seriously, it's so pathetic how Kent behaves. Just he's so, excuse me, got hiccups. He's so pathetic in this. As you say, an aggrieved loser. He just, how else can you describe it? Overgrown child, man. Overgrown child, man. Overgrown man child. Same difference.
For the voice of him that reproached and blasphemeth by reason of the enemy and avenger. All this is come upon us. Yet have we not forgotten thee, neither have we dealt falsely in thy covenant. Our heart does not turn back. Neither have our steps declined from thy way. Though thou hast sore broken us in the place of dragons and covered us with the shadow of death. And yes, I do believe in dragons.
Oh, he's taking a fucking metaphor literally. I mean, isn't that what he does with metaphors and allegories for half this damn book? But, with the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. So I've been blasting and laughing so long. God damn it, I can't even do Gangsta's Paradise. Just a spoken word, crappy version of it without fucking it up. I'm tired, guys. I've been at it since, like 5 this morning. Which doesn't sound like it'd be that much, but for my kind of work, it's pretty stressful. And again, my medication knocks me out. So I'll be taking that as soon as we're done with this. But yeah, insert Gangsta's Paradise reference here. I guess Kent would prefer Amish Paradise.
They're today what we call dinosaurs, probably the same animal. The word dinosaur wasn't invented until 1848. Somebody said in the comments a couple of weeks ago.
Oh God, here he goes. He's gonna go off rambling about fucking dinosaurs. He's not gonna get to his point. He's not gonna finish his fucking slides. He's gonna pull out his musty old book he probably sleeps with. Is this comfort blanket. That's the only reason it's all messed up. He doesn't read it. He just sleeps with it. More ways than one. Hovind?
How come dinosaurs aren't mentioned in the Bible? Well, because the word was made up in 1841. And this was written.
Wow, did y'all see how he said that? You're gonna go back. Look at this shit.
Dinosaurs aren't mentioned in the Bible. Well, because the word was made up in 1841.
What the fuck is that? It just goes all deranged for a second there. Dude. Fucking relax. Or don't. I don't care if you give yourself a fucking heart attack.
And this was translated in 1611. Duh. This Bible doesn't have the word computer either, do you know? But there are computers, yeah. Okay. It's the same animal, the dragon. Watch my video number 3. Okay. He said,
it's the same animal, the dragon. Watch my video number 3. Watch my video number whatever. Watch my video. If I ever debate this man, I'm going to do that same thing. I'm just going to tell him, watch my video number 17. Watch my video number 420. Number 573. Watch video 573. It'll change your life. Hovind. Caruso tomato.
If we have forgotten the name of our God and stretched out our hands to a strange God, shall not God search this out?
It really is. And something I like, and I'm not 100% sure of how true this is, but there is something about the Oriental dragon that Chinese and Japanese cultures, as they'd interact, would kind of argue over stuff, because the one, I forget which one, is typically shown with like 3 claws, whereas the other is shown usually with 4 or 5. And there's like a competing idea of like, oh, it gained claws as it went one way and lost them on the other, and both claim that makes their dragon superior. Petty, I hate saying the word primitive because it always has negative connotations, primitive squabbling about stuff, their legends and the like. But it's kind of a fun story, again, an aspect of how the dragon concept evolved. And, as Aaron Rosh states in that video, it's an amalgamation of things we're scared of, big cats, snakes, reptiles, things that go, fly, bats are pretty creepy if you don't know what's going on. It's an amalgamation of things that scare us. So it became sort of the ultimate terror before we were able to get more creative with this stuff, before it started being so passe that we had to come up with something worse. And I don't know. Made the health threat to you and said, maybe I'll see Chris Jones there. Oh, that's funny and terrifying.
For he knoweth the secrets of the heart. By the way, he knows secrets of your heart too. Yea, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Awake, why sleepest thou, O Lord? Arise, cast us not off forever. Bible says the same verse is found again in the book of Romans. As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter.
Yeah, it's real positivity right there. It's already bad enough it compares us to sheep, but sheep for slaughter. Wow, it's real loving, real special, Kent. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Oh, wait, that's just the butcher's knife going in. Jesus is holding it. You don't believe strong enough on me because apparently believing on something and believing in something are totally, the same thing. So, I gotta cut you now. And there you go into that proverbial lake of fire, which isn't in the Bible anywhere. It's actually, from Dante's Inferno and his interpretation of the concept of hell that suddenly became part of dogma because people are fucking stupid.
Wherefore hidest thou thy face and forgettest our affliction and oppression? Lord, why don't we just lost a war, Lord? Why aren't you helping us? Our soul,
because you suck. Ha ha ha. God has spoken. Get bent.
Is bowed down to the dust. Our belly cleaveth to the earth. Arise for our help and redeem us for thy mercy's sake. In the middle of the 10 Commandments, the second giving of the law in Deuteronomy, he says, 6 days shalt thou labor. He said, I want you to remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. By the way, this commandment's for the Jews. Okay, I'm Norwegian. He said, remember that thou wast a servant in the land.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Kent. But of course, you talk about there not being any race, that you've never seen a black man, you've never seen a white man. Even though you also stressed that guy you picked up that time and took for KFC happened to be black, according to you. Tell me you're racist without telling me you're racist. Ken Hovind, you first.
Land of Egypt, that the Lord thy God brought thee out thence through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore, the Lord thy God commandeth thee to keep the Sabbath day. Honor the father and mother. He gave him the Sabbath as a reminder of the creation and a reminder that he saved him out of Egypt. That's a reminder. There are things that ought to, when they were getting ready to cross into the promised land, the Jordan River was flooded. So God said, Joshua, he took over.
Yeah, and that was a recent thing too. I forget which video I was watching, but he fucking says that. It was great. Like not in the good way, but it was a very recent one where he says that. Someone left a comment talking about taking him to KFC. So if you go to my older videos or my past couple of videos, look in the comments. It'll be in there, and that'll tell you which video it is.
When Moses died, Joshua, start marching.
Like I would look it up right now, but that'd result in a lot of downtime, and I want to get this done because I want to play some Guild Wars before I go to sleep.
March across the river. As soon as the first guy's foot touched the river stopped, and the rest of it flowed on. And
I am sure the entirety of Scandinavia and then some completely disowns any connection to Kent Hovind.
River's waiting beside him. A big wall of water built up from this flooded Jordan. The rest dry.
Okay, so time for a story. Now, my best friend through school, he was black. White kid, black kid. Doesn't matter. We're both gamers. I go to his house one day. I forget. It was like over the weekend, I'm pretty sure. And we're going to fucking game it up. PlayStation, soda all night long. I go. It had to have been a Sunday. I think it may have been during the summer. It had to be a Sunday. Because his mom would always cook chicken on Sunday. Chicken, cornbread, good shit. I go in there, and there's... I'm not even kidding. There's like 20 watermelons. And my friend immediately goes, and it's like, yeah, it's exactly what it looks like. And we just both laugh about it. And it was fine because it's like, fuck, no, watermelon's good. Hell, we ate some. But it was just so funny. And we could laugh and appreciate it because we knew the stereotype existed. And, it was just one of those funny, ironic kind of cases. Kent, however, is the kind of guy who would intentionally create that situation because he thinks it's right. He thinks it's normal. Oh, I miss talking to that dude, but he and I had a falling out as far as the friendship went, and we hadn't spoken in forever. Hope he's doing well.
Dried up, and the people walked on dry land. He said, now, while the river's holding right there, get your 12 strongest guys, go get 12 big rocks and make a pile of rocks on each side of this river. So when your kids come down there and grandkids come down walking along the Jordan, they say, what's this pile of rocks for, Grandpa? Oh, son, this is where God stopped the river. Huh? It's a reminder to tell your kids, God stopped the river so we could cross. Joshua.
Okay. And North Korea built a dam that stopped flooding along the Taedong River, but had a really bad side effect of causing the fields, what little arable land they have in North Korea, which incidentally is mostly around Pyongyang, to not get flooded the way it was. And it was a measure to prevent flooding, catastrophic flooding, but it also prevented the good flooding. So kind of helped cause the famine that was part of the arduous march that, combined with the fall of the Soviet Union and to a lesser extent the death of Kim Il-sung, more of a symbolic measurement there. But yeah, so what's your point, Kent? Oh, right. Magic Book says a thing.
Joshua 4 is the chapter story there. When they're getting ready to go out of Egypt, God said, Moses, tell the people tonight, I'm going to smite the firstborn. Every firstborn is going to die.
Well, Ambushed, when you watch this back, and I do hope you watch because I realize the entire time I haven't been reading people's comments like I normally would, so this isn't one that's too easy to listen to. Yeah, we've made it through right towards the end. It's been an experience. Got to be careful, kids around the water. Oh, wait. The kids play around the water, and if they don't play right, God might involve them in a drowning. And it's okay because God created them. He can destroy them. Hovind, God is good. God is love. Drown the kids. Hovind.
Now, if you don't want your firstborn child to die, kill a lamb, get the blood, put it on the top of the doorpost and on the two sides, which, by the way, makes a cross.
No. No, Kent. That art depicted right there shows nothing like a cross. I don't think the Jews would be making Roman execution devices depicting them. I mean, I'm sure cultures Rome and pre-Christian had done, two lines that crisscrossed each other, and one of them happened to be longer because it also makes for a sword. So if you're drawing stick figures of people's swords, it's a sword, which is an interesting comparison that it looks like a sword or a dagger or some sort of sharp implement. But yeah, also, this is pretty fucked up to need to kill a lamb and put it over so that magical entities, magical curse of death knows who to get over. The blood tells it. It can't just be preemptively known with 762 Slave Avenue is where little Jemiah lives, and Jemiah is the firstborn, but it's also one of the Jews, so it's fine. But over there, that's where Ramses the 44th lives, so gotta kill him. Makes no sense. Your God's incompetent. Stories suck.
That's a reminder that I delivered you from the land of Egypt. And today the Jews still do that, and they should. It's the Passover. That's the day I pass over your house. The death angel is going to pass over.
Yeah, like I've passed over your content for so many years, then decided I finally had given up on life enough to actually watch it and rip into your shit. And let me tell you, this has brought me the most joy I've had in a long time because of the wonderful people in the audience. These awesome people right here who have sat with me for 2 hours as we watch this shit. Oh, Kent, I would thank you for this, but that'd be giving you too much credit. Because they're not here for you. They're here for me. The fact that you provide some of the best content to react to is simply a facet of reality and nothing more. It just is what it is. It's no attribution of your own. It's just you're a lol cow.
If the blood's applied, he really doesn't care what's going on in the house. Is the blood applied?
Oh, okay. So if there was a whole lot of, sodomy going on in there, God wouldn't care because he put the blood on it. Are you saying he doesn't care? So if I put blood on my door, I can do whatever the hell I want. Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that. Not really, but you get the logic. It's like, come on, Kent, you know what you're saying.
That's how you go to heaven, because of the blood.
Okay, so this just in, you go to heaven because of lamb blood. Oh, right, it's a metaphor for Jeebus, who, sacrificed himself to himself and had a really shitty weekend. Then got magic powers and exists forever. Doesn't sound like much of a sacrifice.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, all thy might. And these words which I command thee shall be in thine heart.
Oh, yep. Commands them to love. So it's not really love. It's just playing the role out of fear. So it's an abusive relationship. Okay.
Thou shalt teach them diligently to thy children. Parents, are you teaching the Bible to your kids? And shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house. What do you talk about sitting in the house? Talk about the Bible? Talk about God's word?
No, I mean, I generally try to stay alone. The most talking I do when I'm here is when I do these streams. Otherwise, I'm working on side projects and doing stuff that's actually productive, not jerking off over imaginary fairy tales. Well, not that one, But perhaps I've said too much. But seriously, Kent, yeah, people have better things to do with their lives than obsess over nonsense from the fucking stupid ages.
And when thou walkest by the way, when you take a walk, you talk about the Bible. When you lie down, and when you rise up, that pretty much covers it all. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand.
Bingo! I'm going to create a man and a woman with original... I gotta read this in a booming voice. I'm going to create man and woman with original sin. Then I'm going to impregnate a woman with myself as her child, so that I can be born. Once alive, I will kill myself as a sacrifice to myself too. Part 2. Save you from the sin I originally condemned you to. Excuse me. Ta-da! Because I am the Lord thy God, and I have shitty fucking logic. Harvard. Bible is a handbook for abusers. God 101. Yep.
And they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. Did you know that's why the Jews to this day are still wearing the little box on their head and on their hand? That's to remind them. In that box, they got some verses from the Bible. Or sometimes it's a little bitty scroll. Somebody gave me one here. A little scroll to remind you, hey, you're God's children. Get a little scroll.
Look, he doesn't know how to fucking operate the scroll. Kent is so stupid, he doesn't know how to operate a fucking scroll. I never thought I'd say that. I never thought a person could not comprehend how to operate. A non-disabled person. Because Kent, we joke about it, he's not disabled. He's just fucking stupid. And an asshole. He can't operate a fucking scroll. Oh, man. Oh, fuck this clown.
Out here. Yeah. I don't want to tear it, getting it out. But anyway, it's a little scroll in it. Okay.
I'm going to show you this thing, but I'm not going to practice this before I actually do it. And, even though I put this shit in my slide, so I should have planned, hey, let me practice opening this thing. I'm not going to practice at all because I'm a fucking idiot who doesn't plan anything out. This live stream has been more planned out than Kent's little sermon here. And I'm just doing this shit off the cuff. It isn't like I pre-watched the video. I didn't know what was coming. And apparently neither did Kent's third wife. Oh! Still feel bad for Cindy. She didn't deserve that.
We'll do that today.
But yeah, I was saying, I'm doing a better job than Kent is.
Little box to remind them, hey, this is a reminder. You made some promises. And some of you husbands and wives ought to sit down and talk to each other.
Okay, what do married couples have to do with Hasidic Jews and their traditions? The fuck, bruh.
Get a hold of your ring and say, okay, I made a promise. Made a promise.
Wow, he's still bitter about this shit. He's on his fourth wife and he's still bitter. Oh. Oh, relish it, friends. Just soak in the tears. Soak in the frustration of Hovind. This pathetic bastard.
I know one guy, his wife was very, very sick and had to be constantly taken care of every second. One of his friends said, man, why don't you put her in a nursing home and move on with life? He looked on his ring, he felt his ring, he said, I made a promise. That's all it took.
Oh, well, I don't know if that story's true, but if it is, that is actually extremely sweet. We can only hope we can all find somebody who will care for us in situations where things are pretty bleak. Sadly, all I've experienced in life is people only caring up to a point. But, c'est la vie.
God wants us to remember our promises to him and his promises to us. That's why you ought to read this book often. I've read it many, many times, and I still find new stuff every time I read it. Like, what?
Then you're not reading it very well, Kent.
Oh, where's that been? When's the last time you cracked the cover? When's the last time you read your Bible? I bet you keep up with the weather forecast more than you do God's word, don't you?
Yeah, because that's practical. That's useful. There's value to knowing, hey, do I need an umbrella? Do I need a jacket? Am I going to be sweating my fucking ass off all day in the back room at work? These are things I need to know because they're actually going to affect my day and my life. Samson getting his hair cut off and losing his magic powers isn't exactly of any use to me, beyond the fact that there's an NES game called Little Samson that's sort of tangentially based on that story, and if I was to find a copy of that, I'd be so fucking out of this dump of a city because that game goes for a nice chunk of change. It'd get me a place in Seattle, and then regret the decision because I'd be broke real quick because, still have to upkeep it because it's not worth that much, but still, it's worth a good chunk of change.
How about it? If you're here listening to me today and you've never been saved, first step, you need to give your heart to the Lord and get saved. It's like planting a seed. I tell people this little acorn, which not all the scientists in the world cannot make one of these. You can't.
I don't think he mentioned evolution at all in this entire thing. Let's see if he can fail here because he's right there. He's already brought up scientists, so we know where he's going.
Make one.
And he can't just say this little seed will become a tree. He can't just leave it at that. He has to throw in his evolution spiel. This is what Grayson pointed out, is that everything, and I had noticed it, we all noticed it, that he always has to make everything somehow tangentially tied to evolution.
I promise you can't. Try it. Make an acorn. But this little nut knows how to make a whole tree. But it can't do its job if the dirt won't let it in. Jesus wants to come in you and grow a whole new person in you, but you got to let him in. First step, ask him to save you.
Thank you, Deconstructing Laura. Fuck. Deep breath. They're called phylacteries, which sounds like a biological term. They do not wear them on their head all the time. It's part of a worship service. Also, they are worn on their arm, not the hand. See, I love this stuff. I love comments like this because it's educating me on stuff that I'm receptive to but wouldn't normally seek out. And that little Jewish tradition, I think is pretty damn neat. But there's a lot of things that are Jewish that I find pretty damn neat. They don't exist in Christianity. And yeah, just, Jews kind of got some better stuff going on. There's stuff I disagree with. There's stuff I find silly, but I ain't got a problem. It's not like the kind of shit you're spouting, Kent. Yep, much love to Cindy Lincoln. We may be on opposite sides of the theological opinion, because she'll still regularly put up content about creation. Um, it's just her prerogative. At least she feels sincere about everything, as opposed to Kent. Um, but I mean, no one deserves to be treated like she was, especially someone as timid as her. Very sweet woman. I haven't had any direct interaction beyond like a few YouTube comments, but she's definitely someone I think the whole atheist community that's aware of Kent and follows this stuff care about. So she's got infinitely more people who love her in a community that is godless than she does in this holy fuck cult that Kent runs.
Come say, Lord, come live in my heart and save me. He'll start making a whole new person out of you. Each nut not only knows how to.
Hang on, there we go. I always had this thing muted at the wrong times. Jesus wants to put a seed in me? My body's ready. Hovind. Let's do this, Jesus. Ah! Oh, if there's a hell, I'm going to it. But hey, I'll see everybody there.
How to make a tree. It knows how to make that tree make more acorns, which make more trees. One acorn with enough time could cover the world with oak trees. One. All the scientists in the world can't make one. Try it.
If my understanding is correct, the original verbiage used that is now translated into virgin originally meant maiden, and I can see where those terms would be interchangeable in certain usage and certain thought processes. So yeah, there's an implication that she might have been relatively young, especially in a culture where such young arrangements were common due to the fact that people oftentimes didn't make it to 30.
You scientists think you're smart? Make an acorn. The nut, you're dumber than a nut. Think about that, okay?
Honor of attending a bar mitzvah at a yeshiva school while we lived in Italy. That is awesome. Okay, my mic is working. God, for a second, I didn't see the little bubble doing its thing. Yeah, that is freaking awesome. I've never attended such. This is a weird little side story, but the neighborhood I used to live in, the one I sadly had to leave, behind it across a main roadway, actually was a Jewish cemetery. And I'll never forget this, that on the website next door, a neighborhood sort of social network thing, someone referred to it as a pet cemetery. And I kind of went off. I'm like, it's a Jewish cemetery. If you go by there, you can clearly see, the name. I think it's Beth Shalom cemetery. It could have another name. I took pictures of it back in the day because it was just cool, and it's like I document random things. Beautiful place. Anytime I'd go by, I would give a bit of thought, when I had an opportunity, like if I was going up the side road that it's on for whatever reason, like biking or something, I'd stop and give a little thought there out of respect. We had another cemetery nearby that I would do that too. Actually, I had a friend I used to work with is buried there. So I would go visit her grave sometimes. Yeah. And I give respect to this stuff because I, actually give a damn. That's the closest experience I've had with, anything, more strictly, in the culture Jewish, beyond, meeting people who are clearly, Jewish. I say that like it's such a, thing that's like, and it's like, oh yeah, you got the yarmulke. Oh yeah, you can tell. And so, you pick that vibe. So I've never been immersed in the culture to any degree. But as I've expressed in this video, I have a definite soft spot for it. So yeah, going to a bar mitzvah, that's pretty damn cool. God, I'm so tired. I'm just rambling on. It's maybe because the word in the Old Testament is Alma, which means young woman. So was Mary a virgin or just of marriageable age? Yeah, exactly. What is it? And it's like, what are these translations? And you notice that with the King James version, they decided to pick the one that said, oh, she just hadn't had sex yet. It's like, okay, we see where you guys are focused. Beth Shalom means house of peace in Hebrew, so it makes sense. Yeah, I thought as much. So thank you. Yeah, that is more than likely what it is. Best slalom is something altogether different. uh, gotta add some extra jokes in there towards the tail end. Hell yeah. Also, welcome Phantom X.
Ask Jesus to come in your heart and save you. Then
I do not consent. What's Jesus gonna do?
get a bunch of reminders to remind you. On my little Toyota, I put my racing stripe across the bottom. Back in my day, the racing stripe. How many remember that people had all the racing stripes on the bottom of the car door?
We can't see the show of hands. Kent doesn't fucking matter. Has no relevance to this. You're just trying to make yourself look, relatable.
I put some tape on there and spray painted Joshua 24:15 on my little Toyota Corolla. That was my reminder of God's promise. If it seems evil to you to...
I'm going to write my own religious book just so you can all, like, put random quotes on stuff, like leave them in Hovind comments. You know, Chris 6.66, up yours. You know, stuff like that. Just the book of Chris. I'm just going to write it one day, just for the fuck of it.
serve the Lord, you choose who you want to serve. But as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15. So, first of all, you need to...
What's a racing stripe? It's what's left in Ken Hovind's underwear after the feds raid him for tax evasion yet again. Just like it was the first time.
receive him into your heart. Then the battle starts. Keep reminding yourself you made promises, and God made promises to you. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for your amazing word, Lord. So much just in Psalm 44. Lord, help us.
Aw, that is so nice. Cindy wrote a prayer for me and Soot today for our engagement and coming wedding. Both very much atheists, but the heart in it. Yeah, we cried. Cindy, both cried. Cindy's so sweet. Yeah, see, that's the thing is like when it comes from something genuine, the religious aspects be damned. It's just a way of showing genuine human care and affection. And I find that beautiful. And that's why Kent fails. There is no genuineness with him. None at all. The only genuine emotion you get from him is outright hatred. You know, I've got friends who will... So my sister had sent me a text, saying, hey, I know you don't believe in God, but I pray every day. I've been single for a while. My ex fucked me over, and she's like, hope you pray you find a woman that'll treat you right, because all my exes have kind of, they've kind of used and abused me. It's just the way it is. And that meant a lot to me. Even though I'm not religious at all, it's like, oh, that's sweet. Hell, I asked a friend, who's religious at work. I'm like, I don't believe it, but pray. Just the symbolism in it made me feel better. Because again, it's the human thinking about you and being genuinely caring about it. And I think that's something that people don't get about atheists, that, we reject the fairy tales and all that stuff, but genuine human emotion, even if it's delivered with this add-on, still has value. We're still going to appreciate it. And that if we consider you a true friend, if we consider you someone worth respecting and caring about, that it's going to hold just so much value. I don't know how to word it better. I am so freaking tired. Kent has worn me out. But yeah, it's wild. And I'm a cynical asshole most of the time, so it's weird that people don't ever see this side of me. They never get the chance to see it and never realize, oh, this is how Chris actually thinks. They just see my cynicism, and they might not understand why that cynicism is there. No one ever wants to, no one ever wants to learn about each other. No one wants to understand people better. They just, get pissed off if you don't happen to, you don't even have to dislike, just don't happen to like the exact same things they do. So everyone's immature kids. I don't know.
To remember what you've done for us in the past. Lord, there's some people listening today that are struggling, having problems, turmoil. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's physical, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's marital.
Well, that's it. The book of Chris is going to be getting written. I'll probably start on it tomorrow at work. because I can just write what the hell ever and it'll work. Dude, that's gonna be fun.
They're having problems, Lord. I pray that you help them to remember the times you brought them out in the past.
No, all my exes do not live in Texas. However, my last ex did happen to be born in Texas. So take that for what you will.
Help them to call upon you and just be patient and wait. Examine their heart. Maybe they're causing their own.
Let you examine their heart. Just cut it open and investigate right now. Hovind.
Problem. Father, please use this little ministry to reach millions worldwide now, Father, in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Thank you all. Lunch is ready. See you tomorrow.
No. Anyone want a Holy Kool-Aid video intro at the end? You're blastingly loud. I tried to click cancel and YouTube was just like, nope. Oh, all right. We made it through the whole video. That was definitely one of the videos of all time. Less wild than I thought it was. But apologize I had to get on there. But we still got Kent talking about paddling and whatever the hell that comment about the improper intimacy. That's me being polite about it was. Remember, this is a Sunday morning sermon. Real quality Christian we got there. Right. That's about yeah, turn off autoplay. I used to have it turned off, but I wanted it back on because shit wasn't wasn't playing, and I was like, damn it, because I might have something going in the background for a while or when I go to sleep. That was an awesome ending. Oh man, yeah. So that was definitely a stream, completely unplanned, but we did it. As I said, we made it through. I almost don't want it to end, but this has been 2 hours and 37 minutes. It is 7:33, so I want to get in a good hour of Guild Wars before I get to sleep. Also, I've barely eaten my dinner, which is now cold, which is fine because it's pizza, and actually this stuff, when it's still moist, actually tastes okay, kind of cold. So I might throw it in the microwave. I don't know. Can't finish off talking about his lunch being ready. His woman made him a sandwich. Took her a long time to make a sandwich. Excuse me. But yes, that is the end of the stream. I want to thank everyone for joining and sticking around. Given the success of this, I might have more afternoon streams, but my time is also relatively limited. So I'll just have to... Again, I'm getting very sleepy. Apologize for that. Plan these things out a little better, actually schedule them and make it happen. But I never know when I'm going to get off work, so it's kind of a toss-up. But as always, much love. I'll be in AJ's Discord. Emails in my channel about page if you want to reach me directly. Additionally, I got stuff linked below, my multiple websites, image board, 4chan. I got my own image board. You want to post stupid stuff there? I got an old school BBS because I'm a nerd like that. And yeah, otherwise I will yawn, and then I will catch everyone next time. Once again, much love. I do it for you all. Thanks for watching.